Good day, everyone. It's a beautiful day. I'm sore and I'm hurt. Yesterday was my first day back into training mode. Lord Jesus. It was not a game. It was not a joke. Whoa. It was crazy. But it felt good that I was still able to do it. What I did yesterday, 4 miles yesterday. I believe I did 4 miles yesterday. Felt good. It was difficult. I was running uphill. It was tough. My legs hurt. My toes hurt. My hands hurt. God damn it. My biceps hurt. But it feels good to get back on it. I got 12 weeks of training so I could run this goddamn race. And hopefully I'm going to be recording it. So this way, hopefully y'all can go ahead and train with me and y'all can be prepared. And y'all can run the goddamn race as well. What's up, Sexy Red? Barry White, good day to y'all. How y'all doing? It was a beautiful day. It wasn't too hot, so that was good. Because it's never fun to run in that goddamn heat. It's crazy. But man, what happened yesterday on this young man's stream was insane. And I couldn't believe it. I absolutely couldn't believe it. It was ridiculous, disgusting. What's up, Victorious One? The champ is here. The champ is here. So, for the people that don't know, for the people in the back, my name is Sharon Bracey. We are the solution-based group. And every single day, we rebel against remedial rhetoric. And today is no different. We want to make sure that the people that do come up here and have the conversation with us, what up, Dante? Is that they are not just regurgitating things, and these thoughts are their own thoughts. And we know where they come from. So you're going to have to substantiate your argument. What fool I got to ignore? It's a fool that I got to ignore. Who is he? What is his name? JX, what it do? JX, don't forget, your ass need to run too. You should have been out there running with me yesterday. Yesterday, I ran 4 miles yesterday on my road back to doing 13.2 miles a day. That's right. If you want to be a runner, you need to run every single day. Rain, sleet, or snow, heat, whatever. You got to get out there and get moving. Absolutely. 100%. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting thing. Hey, did y'all hear about all y'all black men? Hey, all these black men that's out here that can't figure out a way to crack the code to get 75,000. All you have to do, I got the perfect plan for y'all to make $75,000. All you black men that make less than $75,000 a year, I have the plan for you. Robin, I got the plan for all the black men that need to figure it out. We are going to dive deep into how you black men can instantly earn $75,000 and better. Depends if you play it right. Good day to you, famous nobodies. Whew, chest is sore. Everything is sore right now. And also, before we get into it as well, I had a thought and I lost it. I don't know where it went. It just fucking left. I don't know. But I do want to talk about this. So according to sources, what's up, Elite Belzo? According to sources, Japan is out there encouraging black men to migrate to their country So you need some passports, I guess. I guess all the passport bros was correct. They are winning. Otis who? All the passport bros is telling the truth. We need to all get our passports and go to Japan, clearly. Because Japan, now we know how much I have to start selling my goddamn seed for. Because remember before, a couple of days ago, I was trying to tell y'all that I was going to start selling it. Because I know it's worth something because I have the kids to prove it. I spelled Tokyo wrong. Thank you, JX. Oh, I damn sure did. Huh. I don't know what that is. Let me spell it correctly. God damn it. Let me spell it correctly. Why does it say that? Okay. I probably can't even correct it because we are live now. Let's see. Okay. How that look? That's better? All right. So, thank you, JX. I appreciate that. So, so now I know exactly how much my seed is worth, at least overseas. So for now on, I know now. So now I just need me a nice website to go out there and show that, hey, you're going to have to give me $75K for this goddamn seed that I have nested within inside my body. You feel what I'm saying, EJ? Because they were saying, how much you going to sell it for? Well, now I know how much to sell it for. I'm going to sell it for $75,000. My seed is worth at least bare minimum. That is the minimum wage. $75,000 for some good grade A Sharon Bracy semen. Yes, that's how much it costs. Lord have mercy. Because over there in Japan, it is alleged that they want black men to fly over there and go and impregnate their women because their birth rate is so low. Black women, what you say to this? Women, what do you say about that? That the black sperm, supposedly from black men, are worth $75K over in Japan. What is y'all thoughts? Oh, that's right. The SBG gravy is worth $75K. God damn. Sugar Mom said, what? What she said to do? Damn. She said, go and get that money. Damn. I just started looking up flights too, by the way. Just in, 75K. I figured I could make at least go over there real quick, make about like 4 babies, come back with like 300,000. Come back with like 300,000. Wow. About to start spreading this gravy all over those goddamn flat biscuits over there. So Clay, so why I wound up looking into it. So really what it is about they are offering $75K for families. It's not necessary. It's no liable or credible source that say they are actually offering black men specifically $75K to impregnate their woman. What they are doing over there, first of all, it started off in South Korea. In South Korea, it was a construction company. They was offering their employees $75,000 to have children, men or women. Because over there in South Korea, it's really bad. That 4B movement is taking flight. So Tasha K, she pretty much started the goddamn rumor, pretty much, that she was saying that, hey, black men, since you don't want to take care of your babies over here, at least fly over to Japan and go ahead and get that goddamn $75K because y'all are known for busting nuts and making babies and leave. So Tasha K is a little wild for that, without a doubt. And but no, if it is true that they want the immigrators to come over there and start creating some goddamn babies, we need some goddamn stimulations. Listen, if I do go over there and create my 4 babies and give me my 300,000, I want my money up front, goddamn it. Soon as they born, give me my $75K. They come out, they breathing, they smiling, they laughing, no defects. Give me my $75K. That's number 1. Or we could do it like, give me half when she becomes pregnant, and then give me the other half when she gives birth. And also, I want residual income from the baby. So therefore, when a baby grows up and he becomes the next singer, I don't know what's the immigrator. Nextly, if my child was to grow up that I impregnate one of these out of these 4 women, and one of them becomes rich and famous, I need some residual. I need some residuals. God damn it. Make it like a royalties. I need some goddamn royalties from my damn child, just in case. Some of that money some of that percentage to come back to me, goddamn, somehow, some way. If I make it past the next 21 years, and in the 21 years he becomes, I need some goddamn money. I need some royalties off of that. And my families, they need royalties, goddamn it. But it is interesting. So it goes to show that other countries are starting to recognize, like, hey, we need to start taking care of our goddamn women and start being a little bit more understanding of where these goddamn women are falling into place for society, how they are the ones that making sure that the society is moving in the right direction. So it is kind of interesting when you think about it. But it's not just for men to just go out there and start impregnating women, right, and just be fertilizers. It is the 75Ks over time taking care of the child. So this way people are more willing to have kids because they have the financial help to have the child. Because over there, they're like, nah, what's the point? I ain't doing it. Oh, y'all crazy? I see my mama, she worked this amount of hours and this amount of years. I see my daddy work too. Nah, they over there, they like, it ain't worth it. They ain't willing to go through the sacrifice to have children over there. And they are at a serious decline. More people are getting old, and there ain't enough new people being born into their country. So they trying to combat it. But at the same time, you go over there and you find you a suitable woman, hey, they're going to give you 75K. So if you go over there and you start an actual family, so one of the reasons why over there they have a huge decline in birth rate is because the marriage rate has a huge decline, because over there on that side of the world, they have babies through wedlock. And so since more and more young people are deciding not to be married and they just living a goddamn best life of just going to work and coming home and taking care of just themselves, therefore the birth rate has declined. Also over there, women are not they cannot give sexual advances the way how it is over here. What up, Enlightened One? Miss Not Everyone, it's me, Dr. G. No, EJ, 75K. Dollars. So whatever they money translate to, whether it's like $1 million yen equals $75,000, whatever it is, they are giving $75,000 for families. Anybody that's willing to get pregnant. So you got to have a girlfriend over there. So it's crazy. And so also over there, the women are not known to show sexual advances. That's not something that the women do. And the men ain't trying to pursue the goddamn women either. It's kind of strange. However, all that being said, with the women not showing their sexual advances, that kind of goes into what happened on Homeboy's show. I think his name is Ty Lil. He's a streamer, and they go by the name Ty Lil. And he streams like Kasana, I believe. And he had Michael Rainey Jr. at his show. Let me drink some of these tears because there was a lot of tears yesterday as well. Because my man Little Foots. So maybe I wonder if they would give Little Foot 75K. I don't know. He might be a little bit too malnourished. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because I don't know, because I don't know how the reverse fade will work on a Japanese woman. Like that reverse fade will look kind of crazy with the chinky eyes and the reverse fade. I don't know. It might not come out. That might be a little weird. But with the sexual advances, I think it was interesting because of Michael Rainey Jr.'s situation on the live stream yesterday. So he was at a goddamn live stream. He was just hanging out, minding his goddamn business. And then while he was on the live stream, this young lady, he's only 24 years old. It was a young lady. She just walked up on him and just put her hands down his goddamn pants in front of the whole stream and in front of children. It is something wrong with this young lady that she felt so comfortable. The little foots of Dr. G. Yeah, we had little foots. Dr. J, we had little foots on the stream yesterday. He came through and he cursed me out because he was mad at me because he has a reverse fade. He needs to have a reverse fade. Yeah. But Michael Rainey Jr., he was on the stream. He was just showing some young man some love and the dude was streaming within his apartment, I believe. And so he was just there standing there while homeboy was like how I'm doing right now, talking to the people. And so he was just standing there, chilling, waiting to get, I guess, introduced into the stream. And then the streamer's sister, the streamer goes by the name of Ty Lil. It's called the Ty Lil Show Live. So Ty Lil was having his show. He was doing something completely different. He was talking to some young kids next to him. And his sister, I'm believing his younger sister, maybe she's old enough to be even partaking in that. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell what age the young lady is. But she went up on Michael Rainey and she groped him. She went and put her hand down his pants. And he was like, oh, shit, what the hell you doing, woman? You know, he's 24 years old, so he didn't know how to properly react, in my opinion, because that is not something that you can just, it got to happen to you once before, I guess, for you to understand how to move. So he just like, you know, he jumped. He's like, oh, what you doing? We on live stream. There's little kids here. Get off of me. And he tried to do it like he was laughing in a joking way, so to speak. But it really is no other proper way for him to react unless he just pow. Maybe that would have been too extreme for most people. However, I would say it might have been appropriate. She absolutely assaulted that man. And the dude that was doing the stream, he didn't even recognize it when it happened because he was talking to the little kids out there. It was crazy. That was little kids in the room. Ma'am, what are you doing? What should be happening at this moment? Like, why are you so sexually into this? Like, what? It's children here. We live streaming. Why you got no patience and you thinking that is the right time to attempt to grope me? It's disgusting. And she needs to be called out. Hey, man, listen, if he called the police on her, hopefully she got time. However, we know most of the time men are not willing to go that far, that extra limb. This is the problem that a lot of young men, especially in my age group, as we had these conversations before, a lot of men had came up and said, hey, my first experience was with an older woman that is willing to take on that aggressive state, these cougars, so to speak. They are just as predatory as anything else. Those older goddamn women taking advantage of these young men. And clearly she is going to be one of those older women when she gets up of age because she did it in front of children. She didn't give a fuck who was there. She was so overwhelmed with sexuality that she had to go and assault that man. And it was crazy to me. Absolutely insane. And one of the reasons why it is not getting, why it's such a huge problem, because the stereotypes and gender bias. So society often portrays men as physically strong, emotionally resilient, and less vulnerable. As a result, when a woman assaults a man, even if it's on camera, it may be dismissed or trivialized due to the assumption that he can defend himself. And clearly, men feel a strange way about defending themselves, even with that situation. Because as we've seen, all he did was break down with a smile. He did not know how to react in the moment, in the heat of the moment. Conversely, right, when a man assaults a woman, it tends to receive more attention and outrage because it challenges the stereotype of women as helpless victims. And that is the real issue that we are having here, is that double standard. That is the real fucking problem. So we got men in the chat right now saying, I lost my virginity to an older woman who said, boy, You have too many pimples. Come get this. Boy, shake my head. Damn. So she tried to clear up his face. She tried to mask her nasty sexuality onto a younger man because he was going through puberty, right? So he was going through puberty. And while he was going through puberty, a woman, she tried to take advantage of that, use that as a way to take advantage of a young man. That is insane. And that woman should be locked up if he was underage. And we need men to be able to be comfortable to come out and say, hey, yes, my thing got hard. A grown woman or a woman alone that I did not want to have sex with, she was touching me in the right places. And yes, it got up and it worked. And I didn't say no because I was afraid to. We got to start with this goddamn understanding. And shout out to Mr. Fantastic. We come with the slogan, the He Too movement. Let me make sure I give him his props for that. That was a nice play on it. You know, shout out to him. And we cannot be ashamed of when something happens. And we cannot disrespect and put our young men down and say, oh, well, you scared of that? How my man Mr. Fantastic, that pussy? I believe that's how he said it. But no, we can't go ahead and discredit our young men for wanting to be not trying to get every vagina that's walking down the street. We cannot get mad at, we cannot disrespect our young men for so-called being scared of vagina. Like, no, he just didn't want your old ass. Or clearly for this young lady, because it seemed like maybe hopefully they was within the same age group, he didn't want her neither. Especially even if he did want her, he thought she was attractive. That wasn't the time for you to fucking put your hands down my pants and try to grope me. This was not the time for that. That's crazy to me. What else are some reasons why men can get assaulted, right? Legal and cultural factors. So the legal system itself and cultural norms can perpetuate like a bias. For instance, some laws may define assault in a way where it favors female victims or overlook a male victim. So we got cultural narratives may emphasize like male aggression and female victimhood, leading to unequal treatment. Is another reason why. So we got the legal and we got the cultural factors in it. Again, so some laws may define assault in a way where it favors female victims and overlooks male victims. We also got the cultural narrative that may emphasize male aggression, which we know is a problem sometimes, and female victimhood, which we also know that is a problem. And that is what's leading to these unequal treatments. We got reporting the stigma. We're just having, let's talk about the stigma of reporting. For a male to be reported, the stigma behind it. Most men may hesitate to report assault due to fear and ridicule or disbelief. Man, that old, you see how good she looks? She don't want your young ass. And if she did, you better go ahead and get that. That's the ridicule. You better not be scared of that goddamn vagina. You see how good? Ooh, girl, We know the stories of these old nasty uncles that would encourage a young man where he would go and tell his older uncle or even some of them they damn daddies, where have you been? Oh, man. Some people, go ahead, diary of an angry mixed man. That's a crazy day. Some people will shame a man for saying he was assaulted by a woman sexually. This is the truth. They are afraid to get ridiculed. They are afraid to come out with a story, especially in the moment. What we understand is that a lot of men, they grow up and then now they are more secure with who they are. So now they can bring it out and they can say, hey, man, this shit happened to me. And I thought it was good at the moment because they was confused or convinced by some older man. Black, lying, deal with lying. He says he remember the OG saying this. Don't be scared of that old pussy. This is a problem. This is a fucking problem. It's a serious one too. And I guess our age group, the men that is within my age group that is watching the show, the 25 to 44, we got to change that stereotype. We got to make sure our young men are not afraid to come and tell us, and then we got to take the responsibility and say, hey, old bitch, stay away from my little youngin. He ain't for you. His first experience is not going to be with your old seasoned vagina. All right? Keep your seasoned vagina from my young lion. We are not accepting that. Any woman, hey, listen, fellas, any woman that will come up to your son and say, woo, he going to be a lady killer, you better keep your eye on that man or that woman. You understand? So if that woman say, woo, that's going to be my boyfriend, no, he is not. He's going to stay in his goddamn kid-like mind state. Don't try to put no goddamn grown-ass connotations on my young lion. Absolutely not. So we got the way how the media portrays things. So the media often sensationalize violence against women is another way how it's very difficult for men to come out and act like something happened to them. So reinforcing the idea that it's more prevalent and severe. So the reverse against a man is really depicted or discussed. So therefore, more men are they're not willing to come out because they do not want to get ridiculed. They do not want to be disbelieved because nobody's going to believe, nobody's going to believe something happened to Little Foots. It's like, hey, Little Foots come out and say, hey, man, this woman with the big old booty, she came out and she tried to put her hand down my pants. Like, Little Foot, stop it. But we got to stop it. We got to believe our young men. The light one said, I used to flirt with my teacher, Mrs. Suggs, in 9th grade. I lived by school. And don't worry, I will be dropping a link very soon. So it's kind of crazy. So what are the statistics? Do anybody know what are the statistics? So I did read, according to the National Intimate Partner and Sexual Violence Survey, the NISVS, approximately, it said 1 in 7 men in the United States has experienced severe physical violence by an intimate partner. 1 in 7 men. It's pretty high. However, these incidents are often underreported due to shame, fear, or societal expectations. This is the issue that we're really having. Men are not willing to just jump out the window and say these things happen to me. And then when it do go to a court situation, when we talk about some real criminal shit, because I believe that what she did is on the edge of criminality. What is y'all thoughts on that? Should her ass be in goddamn jail? Should she? I don't know. Let me drop the link. Let me hear some thoughts from the other people. And let's have a conversation. Let's hold these goddamn nasty ass teachers as well. Let me drop the link. Let me drop the link. Make sure you're hitting that goddamn like button. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're hitting that share button. And if you can, spare 99 cents. It's always appreciated. All right, so the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Welcome to the show. Good day, beautiful. How you doing?
Hey, hi. Good day to you.
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm doing well, thanks. I appreciate it. I think, yeah, she should be charged. I don't know about under the jail, because if that's the case, but it has to do with him and how he feels. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It is not how she feels or anybody else feels about it, apparently, right? Because unless the state is gonna pick that up or whatever, which we know that's not going to happen. So it's up to him. Is he going to press charges? You know?
So now, all right, cool. It might be up to him. I believe if it happened in New York can pick it up themselves because that's something that New York does. But however, what do you think? Would you say that in hindsight now, right? We understand what it is. We understand most men, they are afraid of ridicule. They are afraid of disbelief and all these things. Since it was on video, should that young lady go to jail?
I said I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like I don't want people to think that she's going straight to jail. Even if they charge her, you know what I'm saying? She might be ROR'd or she may get a small bail or bond, but she's going to be in the streets until they have their court date. Do you get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's not like she's going straight to jail. So I just want people to understand that. But yeah, absolutely.
Well,
if the roles were reversed, you get what I'm saying? If a woman says like, oh no. But then again, we have to understand that usually doesn't happen either. A man slaps ass, grabs titties, all that. These men are still walking around. They're not locked up. And we've seen plenty of that on video.
Well, I don't know. Tupac was he.
And we've seen the women crying out and
so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Tupac went to jail because he touched a girl's butt. That's what he went to jail for.
Okay, well, Tupac did, but that's not every man we see in the street that's getting away with it every single day. So now that they're bringing light to this,
hold on.
I'm happy about it.
What we are going to do, we're going to keep it focused on the subject. We are not going to do what about the other side.
No, okay, so I'm not going to do what about the other side. I said I agree. Yes, she should be. I just wanted the people to know that it's not like she's going.
No, don't let people know nothing because when we had that conversation, we will have that conversation. Don't give nobody else an out. We got to stay on topic. I'm
not biased now.
Hold
I
on
said she
one
should be
second.
locked up.
Good day, Supreme Goddess, PH Diva.
Hey, PH Diva's in the building.
Hey, happy.
What's up?
So, what is your thoughts, PH Diva? Should her ass be locked up?
Locked up?
Should get arrested at least.
They arrest you for that? I mean, I guess if they arrest you for groping people, yeah, I certainly think he should like press charges and whatever, I don't know what the charge is for something like that and whether or not they immediately arrest you. But yeah, I certainly think he should. I mean, just to see the look on his face, like, you could tell like he
didn't know
was taken aback. Yeah, he didn't really know how to respond and was just kind of like he was laughing, but it was like a lot of times when women laugh and it's out of discomfort, right? And not knowing how to respond. And it was just very bizarre, just the way she did it, the look on her face when she did. And it's like, who thinks that it's appropriate to come up to somebody that you don't even know with children in the room and just put your hands on them and, grab them by the crotch? I don't know. It was just weird.
I think that is the most telling part, that she was willing to do that in front of everybody, especially the young children. You was such a sexual deviant that you couldn't contain yourself just by the look of this man, or because he was so, I guess, famous in her eyes, how much she watched the TV show, that she couldn't control herself. She didn't care who was in the room. If he would have allowed her, she would have went down there and pulled the thing out and put it right in her goddamn mouth. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then I thought the brother's response to whoever the guy is who streams, I'm not familiar with him, but his response to it, like when he finally like found out what happened, was just kind of crazy. And it was just like, because he was saying like, oh, well, y'all saying I need to, not have basically his family around when these celebrities come through. And he was like, I'm not going to do that because we all people, ain't nobody better than nobody else. Wonderful. But at least let your family know that there's a way that they need to behave when these people are around. You can't go around touching motherfuckers,
Exactly.
Yeah, that is a little insane. His name is Ty Little. I believe he's like a Twitch streamer or something of that nature. I believe he is on YouTube. But the fact that she felt so comfortable, what does that goes to say is that the women, because she's going to grow up to be an absolute Kruger that's probably taking advantage of a little boy, in my opinion. This is the telltale signs of these women that some of these young men they experience this, and they say these young men they get taken advantage of by these young women, even though at the moment they don't realize that they're being taken advantage of with this seasoned vagina that be hopping on them. However, that's to me, she is a certified predator, in my opinion. What's your thoughts, Diva? Is this the signs of a female predator?
Well, she a predator now, right?
Mm.
And so, but she's young, and hopefully this situation will show her family that sis needs some help and some intervention. And so hopefully they'll get her some type of assistance. Who?
The chick.
Girl? No.
She the video.
Oh, you didn't show the video, Sharon?
No, usually I don't.
Oh, okay.
I do have it, but I didn't show it.
No, you don't have to show it. No, I was just wondering because the way y'all talking about, I didn't know.
She's not famous.
Oh, okay. But either way, though, yeah. So I'm just going.
So the dude is famous, and the girl is not. She is. Her brother is. He does streaming the way how I'm doing streaming at his house. He does the streaming, and he had this young man, Michael Rainey Jr., that is a part of Ghost. He is the star. He's the star of Ghost, and he was just there chilling. He was just standing there, and the girl, we don't even know if she's legal to be talking about groping a goddamn grown ass man. That's the part because I couldn't find no real information on which one is his sister. I couldn't figure it out. But we don't even know if she's grown enough to be even talking about groping some goddamn man. But the fact that you are that open to do it, that says a lot about how the woman's psyche, where some women just don't
say open.
She was definitely open to do that in front of little kids.
I'm not saying open. I'm agreeing with PhD side. I would say something's wrong with her. Her family need to get a hold of her ass. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because some of these people, they grow up now, they don't know anything else but this, BS that we see as older folks. You get what I'm saying? That grew up and still have common sense. It's different. So that's why I said I wouldn't say she was open, but something is definitely wrong with her for sure.
Well, Elite Belzo suggested that she might have been high. So
she had a marijuana psychosis.
Well, but it lowers your inhibitions, and so whatever. And who say she was on marijuana, right? A lot of shit people be on these days.
Wait, didn't that lady just get off for being on marijuana, stabbing that man all them times?
Yeah, that was in California.
That's crazy.
Yes, a woman in California, she stabbed her boyfriend 170 times, which he wound up being unalived, and she got away with just probation because of a marijuana psychosis. She didn't see not 1 hour in jail.
I seen all of this coming in the future. That's why I stopped smoking weed as a teen.
You knew you was going to stab somebody?
No, I don't know about stab somebody, but I might have. Shoot, who knows?
God. And so now when we go into that part of it, right? So women do receive shorter sentences, right? Of certain crimes than men. So in 2015, a study found that female defendants was 58% less likely to be sentenced to prison overall. That is high. That is a real high percentage, in my opinion.
Overall, meaning a lot of that percentage is probably due to people never having had committed any crimes prior to the major event, that one thing that they did. A lot of
probably controlled for that. They probably controlled for that. I couldn't see them not controlling for something like that.
Okay. And also, women are 46% less likely to be detained before trial compared to men.
Well,
so they are less likely to be held. They are less likely to be held in jail prior to their trial. So that's kind of to me as well.
Well, so what's the purpose of holding people prior to trial? I know that one of the things is, are they a flight risk, right? And so, most women have children, and so that's going to make you less of a flight risk, right? The other thing is, are you a danger to like society or whatever, or to somebody, you know, even if it's like a victim or whatever, while you're
even
outside of
yourself, because they will lock you up if you're dangerous to yourself. Yep.
And so I think the perception is that women are less of a danger to people, even when they might not necessarily be. Because I saw a story about a year or so ago about some one of the cities in Texas, how they have such lax like bail system, and so the woman was out on bail because she was part of a group who apparently deleted somebody, and then she went out and deleted somebody else, right?
Damn, this is recent.
This was maybe like a year or so ago that I saw it. Because I watch like YouTube news of like many of the major cities, like Philadelphia is somewhere I never want to go.
Yeah, and Black trying to get me to go over there so we can have a fight. No, sir.
I never want to go over there.
You better pay me.
But yeah. So again, so the perception is probably often that women aren't as much of a danger, and so they can, you know, let them wait for their trial outside of jail. Again, even when they may not necessarily be less of a danger. Yeah,
I agree 100% on that as well. And also when released on bond, I believe women receive lower bond amounts. I believe I read it that it was their bonds are set at amounts at 54% lower than what men required to pay. That's
what's crazy about that is I wish sometimes I just wish that they had all the same laws for all of the states. Why can't they ever get on one accord? You would think after all of these decades, these centuries, that somebody will say, you know what, all 50 states just need to be aligned with one another. Why is it that it's different laws from state to state? Because if you go to a Commonwealth state, baby, that's not the case, because they don't give a damn. In the Commonwealth,
it also shows that judges, they do have so if a woman is doing some kind of theft, women are held at a longer prison rate than men for some strange reason.
Imagine getting a $25,000 bail bond, whatever it is, right? Because you simply barked at a police dog. Imagine that, though.
Yeah, right? That's I guess that would be that's a strange law.
At the police dog, and then your thing was 25,000 to get out. Imagine it.
Yeah, I mean that's a strange law for sure. It's a bunch of strange laws. Like it's in some states you can't fart in the elevator. You could get locked up for that. You know, it got
in the states, not in other countries. You talking about here in the US of A?
Yes.
Wow.
So I need
that. I'm about to call police on a lot of people.
It definitely got some weird laws out there for sure. But I think the real problem is like what PhD is talking towards is the fact that women are not seen as dangerous. They are seen as the damsel in distress. And so men are seen like the aggressors in most things. Laws related to assault may unintentionally favor female victims. Some definitions of assault may not adequately cover a situation where women are the aggressors. So that's another part as well. This is the part where when these men are saying that things are not equal, I could, all right, I can get you on that. However, when you look at the stats, it's hard to understand. It's hard for us to grade it because men are not going to report it because we're afraid that we're going to get ridiculed and not be believed that. I mean, who's going to believe that Littlefoot's got assaulted? You see the man reverse hairline, it's going to be difficult.
I don't know. To me, that rationale is just so, I can't wrap my mind around it, just because men do so much shit that they can be ridiculed for, but now your physical safety or your physical person, that's where you so concerned about being ridiculed by other people that you wouldn't take the steps needed to secure yourself. Like I don't know.
Yeah, especially if it's a woman. Like, so men is not going to report if a woman slaps him or punch him in the face. They will report it if she pulls out a gun, if she's trying to stab him. Then that way they feel more justified and they won't get ridiculed. But since we are supposed to be such big, bad, and stronger than women physically, they feel ashamed to say a woman did something to them, no matter
but
what it
who's
is.
doing all this ridiculing? Because so no one, unless it's you out in the middle of public and calling the police right then, like nobody has to know but you, that person. You know what I'm saying? So who's doing all the ridiculing? I'm sorry, I got to push back.
That's a good question. And also, I want to welcome somebody that has no problem with telling on himself and say, hey, I got my ass whooped by a woman. Welcome to the show, Mr. Big West. Good day, sir.
I just wanted to come up here and say shout out to Sharon, for covering things like this, because I at once upon a time I was very scared to speak up, but now I'm able to speak up. And I just wanted to say to the world, down there in Florida, one time I was at FAMU, and we this woman named PhD, that's who it was, and she just groped me this way, So Sharon, you are the best. Thank you so much for sticking up for men's rights right now, and we have a new movement.
Right, we are going.
Okay,
hey, Big West, we are going to call it the He Too movement.
The He Too, we are coming.
You know what?
What you think about that, PAZ? But we are going to form the He Too movement.
Well, I think it's very on brand for modern men, because they form some type of movement based on the heels of whatever movement women form all the time, right? That's basically who y'all are at this point. Y'all looking at the women, what they doing, so y'all can do it too. So very on brand.
and that's the word you use, on brand. Okay.
On brand.
Okay.
Don't play with it.
Oh God, that is crazy. But I think it is definitely a problem of this this predator thing is a gender thing, and I think that is a big situation that we need to start unpacking. That being a predator doesn't have anything to actually do with your gender. I'm leaning more towards what Happy's saying, that you might just have a mental problem, or you are chemically imbalanced. It's something wrong with that woman for her she couldn't contain herself even around goddamn children. There's something wrong with you, ma'am. Like, so I'm gonna agree with Happy with that. There's something mentally wrong with that human being, right? And so I think we got to take the gender role out of it, so this way we can be able to see the woman that is doing these sexual deviant things, because more and more we hear men coming out and saying, yo, when I was young, I didn't know something was happening to me because my little thing got up, so I thought everything was okay. It's supposed to, because we hear men say all the time, it's natural to put your peen in some seasoned vagina. Like, men don't have no goddamn autonomy to say no to goddamn sex, because they keep telling these goddamn young men, women hold the key to goddamn sex. No, fellas, have some goddamn self-value in yourself and understand that you can say no to that goddamn nasty heifer. She's nasty. She got lorries on her vagina. It got MSG in it.
What?
But let's great show. Keep doing what you're doing, Sharon. Love y'all. I'm about to get to it. I'll be back, man. I'm about to I got some things I'm trying to do. So I got
y'all. Have a great day.
Be safe.
Be careful out there, young soldier.
You know I
am. So you don't think so? PSG, if it got lorries on, they got MSG on that damn vagina.
I wouldn't know. I'm pretty sure you're more well versed in vagina than I am, so I'm gonna defer to your wisdom, sir.
Right.
If it got Lowry's on it, then it got Lowry's. Y'all need to be changing the sea salt. It's healthier. More minerals.
But just like how we covered, even though they think that I don't, but right, even though like when we had covered the young lady, the secretary in the school, when the little boy went to go tie his damn shoelaces, even though and she was putting her little nasty fingernails on his back and say, "Ooh, when I was your age, boy, I would have done to you."
What? She had dirt in her fingernails?
Well, I said
a
that.
bunch of dirt.
Well, I didn't see her.
I don't. Wait a minute. How was the boy?
No, because I'm not.
It was in grade school, so he was around like 10 years old.
And who was saying what now?
The school secretary, a grown ass woman, she went up to him while he was bending down, tying his shoes. She went over there and rubbed her nasty ass nails down his back, talking about, ooh, if I was back in my day when I would have did this, saying sexual things to him.
Was she fired like that?
Right.
She was absolutely fired, but she did
good.
not. She did not get arrested because the little boy, he was not afraid. He went and told his mama, the teachers, he told everybody. He was snitching on everybody.
Good. Absolutely.
But we do need the young men to understand that it is okay to turn down these sexual advances for women, not to be how it was back when I was younger. If I was to go and told my uncle that, hey, you better go and get some of that goddamn MSG season Lowry's vagina. I wish I could get some of that goddamn vagina. That's what they would have said. But in today's day and age, I think it's changing. I think it is a shift.
Good.
And men need to
shift? Like,
and I think the young men need to understand that they would not get ridiculed and they're not going to be disbelieved. We are going to believe you. We're going to believe all men when they say they goddamn something sexual happened to them.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Oh, yes. We are going, yes. We are going to believe all men.
We're not believing all crap over here. Don't tell that lie. We are the solution-based group. We are not in no way responsible if y'all get your feelings hurt. Up here, okay.
We are going to believe all men when they say, "Hey, I was sexually something happened to me when I was younger." Yep, we're gonna believe all of them. God damn it!
No, I'm not saying stuff like that. I'm saying with these guys coming out and saying stuff, like the same way there have been women that have lied. There are going to be men that will lie.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. That's just a fact.
We applying the same scrutiny to their ass as we do to the women. What was you wearing? Why was you over there at that time of night?
Was your hair cut?
Right.
Was that the same
You
way?
had a fresh line up. How you was gonna be around that woman with a fresh line
You
up?
just laughed and smiled like Michael Rainey Jr. did after he got touched. Oh, he was laughing. Oh, was that nervous laughter? Oh no, there can't be no nervous laughter. Look at him. He enjoyed that shit. He was laughing. Oh, see, now if we would have did that, we would have been wrong. But I'm glad I ain't come up there on it. I'm just saying we're not believing on men over here.
Shocked. That's what I am. I'm shocked. Hold on.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
All right, Crash Out Jack, broke Dusty and wants beef always. Pretend I'm not here. I'm busy cyber stalking easy money. Crash Out Jack, Sexy Red TV didn't pay for my dinner. Hashtag he too.
Damn.
See, y'all be trivializing your own shit. Crash Out Jack, is crazy how the men who were taken advantage of you seem to never progress. Since they got poon by doing nothing but existing, they become a pookie.
Shit.
Shout out to you, Crash Out Jack.
That is a little interesting, right? So a lot of the men that do get things happen to them by older women, right? They do tend to be tend to be hypersexual. They're the ones that's mainly out there just pumping and dumping at a very high rate. What is your thoughts of that? Is it because it's a psychological situation and it happened to them way too early? They got exposed way too early?
Well, I mean, first off, we would have to have some type of evidence that that's actually the case, right? That the men who get exposed early, because there are men who, when they were boys, got exposed early by like older women or girls, but then also some who were exposed by girls in their same age group, right? Mm-hmm. They was doing whatever they was doing with little girls who was the same age as them, and so I can't have an opinion on it because I don't know that to be the case, right?
So like that young lady, like hopefully they are around the same age. So yeah, so we do understand that those type of young women, or we do understand that those are the type of young ladies that our grandmothers just say, you better stay away from that fast ass little girl. That's exactly the type of little girl that we were talking about. And a lot of times grandma knew, or mom Duke still, hey, that fast ass girl, you ain't playing hide and seek with her ass. Get your fast ass away from my porch. She's that little girl. So I don't think that most of the men that are promiscuous is because they are promiscuous with a person of their age group. I think it happens when it is somebody of an older age group, and then that's when I think it turns into a problem. I think that's when it's an issue.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, okay. And so I'm pushing back because like men, particularly black men, are socialized to be promiscuous, right? And so being able to tease apart, what's part of the socialization or culture and what's part of like just the individual differences that people, demonstrate. And then, being exposed to sex early with somebody your own age group versus being exposed to sex early from an older person who was taking advantage of you and that type of thing. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't seen any evidence to that effect, and I'll be very transparent and say I haven't looked for it. So it may exist and I just don't know about it, but that's something I would have to like look into more.
Yeah, I think the real problem is that most young men are not going to be willing to report it because of the ridicule. I think that's the real issue behind it. Young men that took advantage of our older women, they are not going to report it because most people, first of all, whoever they would express that to, they would get a pat on the back. You hit 32-year-old such and such, and you only 14, 16.
That's crazy.
It is. However, nobody's going to bat an eyelash, PhD, but especially if they tell it to one of their homies, nobody's going to say, hey, something happened to you. They're like, what? You hit Miss Parker with the fat ass? And she bought you some new Jordans? What? Nobody's going to say, hey, bro, you need to probably go and tell your mama and say, hey, and get this woman locked up.
That's crazy. Also, in defense of the little fast girl, a lot of times those girls were not fast at all. They were just existing as little girls. And, the culture was such that the girls were being held responsible for what males were, doing wrong. And so, I'm glad to see that that's changing now and we're holding men accountable for their own behavior. So yeah, I just wanted to say that in defense of the little fast girls.
Yeah, but yeah, you'll be surprised, Pizzy, with how many, especially the men that are very promiscuous. I don't know what's a better word to say that, but most of them have been. They won't even call it sexual assault. That's the weirdest part about it. They won't even call it that. They'll just say, "Yeah, being my teacher," or "Me and Miss Tootie from 3B," and things of that nature. They won't even consider it as them being assaulted. They just see it as a sexual situation, and that they wasn't scared of the vagina, because that is something that is very important in our community for the Black boy. You cannot be scared of no goddamn vagina, no matter. You know what I'm saying? No matter what age it is, you cannot be scared of it. You better go ahead and get that. Put your face in it. You better dive in. And
but you know what? They're doing that to all children, so this is on both sides, especially nowadays. It's like, it doesn't even matter if the person is a virgin or not. Do you get what I'm saying? They really don't care. They see, oh, well, a little girl is a certain age. Well, guess what? It's not this. It's not that. It's this. And it's all going off of these other words. Do you know what I'm saying? The same way we're not supposed to be saying certain words here for the YouTube purposes is the same way they're doing this stuff behind the scenes when it comes to the children. So because a girl is 11 in one situation, right? Same girl, it could be done by the same exact person, even around the same time, right? But because this child is now 12 or 13, it's a whole different ballgame. They're not, the person is not even going to be brought up on the same charges, which means it carries less of a sentence if they even get it that far. Because a lot of these stuff, even when it does go report, it still falls by the wayside. So these children are set up from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? It's like they don't care. And that's a shame. And I think we need to focus a lot about that. Just saying.
Interesting. I think we definitely need to talk to our young men more often and let them know that they would not be ridiculed if an older woman, especially of like somebody like, look what happened to R. Kelly. R. Kelly was taken advantage of by a woman, a much older woman that seasoned Laurie's MSG vagina, and it turned him into a sex deviant without a doubt. Even though he thought he was healthy because it happened to him. He is a clear, and probably maybe something happened to Puff and all these other men that we also know from back in the days from when this gay thing was on a rise, right? Especially in our community, we understood that a lot of these men they got taken advantage of, and then they went out and they did it as well. That's where this whole idea or this saying comes from: hurt people type shit. And that's what it seemed like it really is. And we got to let our young men know that, no, it is not okay for some grown-ass woman to be sexualizing you. It is okay to be afraid of that goddamn seasoned vagina. You could come to me, your uncle. You could come to your mama, your aunties, and all these other grown people and say, hey, get this goddamn witch away from me. Get this MSG vagina away. It's a little too salty. It's going to affect me later on in life. It tastes good right now because my little peen, it reacted when she touched me a certain way because she's grown, so she know how to touch a man. So yeah, it reacted. So I think that's where the confusion comes in, is that that young man, he's alone with this woman and she touches him a certain way and his body starts reacting. He don't know what to do. Just like how we've seen it with Michael Rainey. When that young lady groped him on live, he didn't really know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
All he did was smile. And then even the other men around him, they didn't know what to do neither. The dude, he came and put his arms around her and smiled, and they made light of it. Because most people do not know what to do when a woman is the one that's being the aggressor. And the laws don't know what to do about it neither. Because the laws of being assaulted from a woman to a man is we don't know what the fuck the shit is.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't in black and white, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, I don't think that the law says, the assault statutes or whatever only apply to the men, right? And so I really would have loved if he would have called her out in that moment. Like, hey, dude, what the fuck wrong with your sister? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or even the guy, because I get that it might have been very shocking to him. But rather than go over, and I'm sure the guy was like, wait a minute, am I seeing so that's probably what he was going over to ask him. Like, did that shit really just happen? But I really wish the guy would have called it out and been like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. And this is one of the issues that most young men I think will have, right? So Black lying to deal with lying. He said it's not okay to be afraid of seasoned box. That sounds like a soft guy talking point. That is a serious problem that young men had to face. This is a problem that people that of my age group, they had to face. So Truth going through whatever he went through with his teacher, and he was to come and say, hey, man, I think something happened to me. It'll be some old-ass uncle with the same mentality as Black and say, hey, man, toughen up. You got you some goddamn MSG vagina? It's okay. It was a little salty, I understand, but you'll grow to enjoy it. That is the problem. So and the men are not willing to deal with it at face value. That, hey, listen, if you are not of legal age, you shouldn't be dealing with that.
Right. And so that's something that men gonna have to work out amongst each other and decide, hey, do we think this is okay? Or is this something that we gonna ridicule a boy for if they come forward, right? And how do you respond in that moment? So this is the thing. In these spaces, these men talk a lot about being the leader in relationships. But then when you start looking at different issues, y'all haven't even worked out how y'all gonna respond to certain shit. And then want women to get in line behind you. That makes absolutely no sense to me. And so y'all really need to be self-focused and focused on self-development for a lot of years, because in that area, the women are leading, right? Which is why y'all can only follow what the women got going on, the movements that the women create, self-care. Now y'all concerned about self-care, right? And so y'all, if you want to be the leader, you got to be able to lead. And so y'all have a lot of work to do in the area of self-development and how y'all are going to respond to certain issues and how you're going to view certain issues.
Yeah, and I think the understanding of what I mean by a seasoned box is meaning that if you are a young fresh man, that meaning that you ain't never had no sexual experience. So a 30-year-old and a 30, I wouldn't call that 30-year-old woman having seasoned box. But if I was only 14 years old and that 30-year-old woman want to hop on top of me, that is what I would consider the seasoned box. So that would be the difference. It ain't no difference between the men that are grooming these young women. It's older women that's doing the same exact thing. So yes, I would look at Cher with a side eye. The men that she's dealing with, they legal age, so I can't say nothing bad about it. But
what about
people like Cher, Madonna, and so on and so forth? I look at them with a fucking side eye, like, hey, there's something a little wrong with you, ma'am.
Why?
I can't put my finger on it, but there's something wrong with it. I think that she possibly have been doing that for years. I don't think that's just something that just started to happen. I don't think she just said, you know what, I want younger men now, especially somebody that's been a notorious single human being. No, ma'am. You always wanted young boys. Now it's just okay for you to do it.
Well, so, okay. So Cher, initially when she hit the scene was married, right? Mm-hmm. She was part of a group, Sonny and Cher. And mm-hmm. Sonny was around the same age as her, maybe a little bit older. And so they were married and then they got divorced. And she pretty much, because she's had like public relationships. I'm trying to think. I think, how old is Cher? Like 70 something?
Yeah, she definitely up there. I really don't, because that's another thing. I don't know too much about these goddamn white folks like that. So I don't know their story. So,
but I think she probably didn't start doing the age gap dating until she started hitting her like 40s and 50s. Right. And if she's 70 something, like shit, I wouldn't want to look at a 70-year-old man naked. I mean, I'm gonna be real.
I'm gonna look good at 70. I don't know what the hell you talking about. But it is plenty of examples of older men 50 years old that look great, right? We got
no.
Who? We don't have no 50-year-olds that look great at 50.
Who look? You give me some examples. You
we got Israel Mills. He's almost 50. He's 48 years old. He looks great at 50.
Who said
you seen his body?
I haven't seen him.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Also, we got Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt looks terrible.
I haven't seen him, but that's a white man, so we already could assume if he's over 50, it's not giving what it's supposed to give.
We got Idris Elba.
Now he is aging well. Yes.
Yes.
We got George Clooney.
I haven't seen him. I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, lately. I haven't seen him recently.
Denzel Washington, he was looking good up until until they try to make him fat, and he could never get past the fat now. So it is what it is.
No, he done lost it. I saw him some pictures of his new movie that he's working on, and Denzel is back.
Okay, that's good. So we got Denzel as well. What's the dude that played Deadpool?
Okay, Ryan Reynolds does look good to be 50.
He's over 50. Mark Wahlberg is over 50. Don
he looks terrible. He looks terrible.
We got Don Cheadle that's over 50.
Don Cheadle was never attractive, so no.
But he looks good though. What I'm saying, like, because we talking about neck down now. You said,
he's scrawny though. Yeah, he was always too skinny. No. I'll give you Ryan Reynolds.
You mean the people that already look like they was on that damn thing that Hollywood's on? What, the Ozempic? He already got the
Ozempic.
Hey, PhD is a hard sell. We got PhD is a hard sell. Damn. We got Will Smith. He's still looking good.
I need to see this new movie. His face is starting to show some aging, but we'll give him the body. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go with Will Smith on the body. Okay.
All right, so we got at least we have a couple. Like we ain't agree on all of them, but we got a couple over. Oh, Lorenz Tate, I'm pretty sure he's over 50.
Yeah, but Lorenz Tate is like little, and he was always like cute, but not like you would look at him and be like, damn, he fine. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I agree with you, PhD. It must be an East Coast thing, but I'm telling you, come on
I'm
now.
pretty sure
You
Method
can't
Man
count
is.
him.
I'm
He's
pretty
too
sure
short to be
Method Man.
counted.
I'm pretty sure Method Man and Redman are over 50.
Okay,
Well,
I'll give you
Method Man
Method.
does look good. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
he do. We'll give you
To
Method.
be his age and all that, I mean, he still looks so close to when he started. Like, come on. Let no crack, baby.
I'm pretty sure if we used to run down the men that are 50, we'd probably be surprised at some because they play young roles all the time. And so we'd just be forgetting their age, to be honest. What about, I'm pretty sure Jamie Foxx got to be over 50.
Okay, but how's his body though? Like, this is what I'm saying. See, this is the thing. I like bodies, so now I'm like, now we having a conversation that I can get into.
Oh, God. Lord Jesus. Hey, listen, y'all. PhD is a hard sell, so it is. I try to throw out black names and white names. She's like, no, absolutely. Antonio Banderas.
How old is he? Is he like 72?
Yeah, he definitely up there. I don't know how old he is, but I know he up there. Oh, Lord. All right, so PS Diva. So what do you think
Johnny
about
Depp looks good.
who? Jackie Chan?
Well,
Body
I said Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp. I thought you said Jackie Chan. The link should be pinned to the top. The link is not pinned to the top? I believe it is. Edelman Williams. I believe he's about 50 years old. Edelman Williams is about 50, and he still looks good for 50. We need to do better on the like button. I don't know what's going on with y'all, but we need to do better on the like button. We need at least 37 more likes. At least bare minimum 37 likes. But speaking of Jackie Chan and all those Asian human beings across the world, right? Over there in Japan, PH Diva, have you heard about this thing going on in Japan?
About the paying the families?
Paying $75K to black men. They want that black man sperm. They're willing to give $75K for it. What is your thoughts on LeBron Black Attack maybe possibly get $75,000 for his geriatric sperm?
Well, Lamar already had said that he just waiting on his his Japanese parents-in-law to leave here so he can inherit their stuff. Nevertheless, so they're looking for black men in particular.
That's what is being said, but I'm kind of leaning towards what you said in the first initial statement, the families. That's what I'm leaning towards. But
right, because that's what they're doing in Korea. But if it was specific to black men, I think it would be interesting because it would probably work out for them because they know they can get black men over there. They'll, bounce from pussy to pussy, impregnating those women, and then abandon those children. And so they would be able to, indoctrinate those children and socialize those children into the Japanese culture. They wouldn't have to worry about the interference from those black fathers, right? Because they know, hey, they abandoned their children back in the States when they're in the same country as them. And so we in a different country, they're going to come over here, impregnate these women, and abandon these children too. Plus, we can look at all the different wars and all the black populations that have been left behind because those GIs went over there, bounced from pussy to pussy, impregnated those women, and then got their asses back on the plane and came on home. So,
God damn. Welcome to the show. Somebody that's willing to go ahead and test out the $75,000 term. The man Williams.
I love my Asian wife, and I'm not trading her in for anybody. Let me go ahead and put this out there.
But are you going to go over to Japan and try to get that $75K is the question.
Yeah, go get the money.
No, so it's just 75,000. But
per child. So you have 4 of them. Hey, that's $300K.
Well, what people don't know.
You see what I'm going with the PhD, bro?
Yeah, I said what a lot of people don't know. Talking about that 10 mil, I'm thinking about it. Shit, I have about 10 mil in about 3 weeks. No, but what I was saying. So yeah, People don't understand why Japan is having this problem because, first of all, Japan, the problem with Japan is, and I think that American men wouldn't do good over there, is because you're supposed to once you have your kids, you're supposed to stop having sex and you're supposed to pour all your attention into your kids. So it's supposed to be all about your kids. So I don't think American men can stop having sex with their wife and invest in their kids and kind of not sleep with the Japanese women anymore. I don't think that'll go over too well.
Okay. Mandrell, what's your thoughts on whatever topic you wanted to speak on?
Yeah, no, I had something for something else said earlier, but I mean, I've forgotten. This just got idiotic. But
damn.
Yeah, the whole conversation just got idiotic.
Why is that?
I mean, it's just silly. It really is.
Okay, which part was silly?
What part wasn't? But anyway,
I could tell you which part wasn't.
By all means, help me out here.
The part that we are saying that a woman should not go around and just grope at men, and that men need to stop being afraid to.
Yeah, that's the part I wanted to comment on. The thing is, there are more men than not that would swing into action when older women go after young boys. The only thing is just it's not in the press. The reaction of the men is not in the press, and the only thing we have to go off of is what we see in the press. But it's one of those things that's just not advertised. There's no light shined on it. But men get really pissed off if you go after their children. Period.
Stop it, Mandrell. Listen.
Wait, man. You're telling me you have a son.
I don't have son.
If hypothetically, if you had a son, a teacher goes after your son, gropes him or tries to come on to him, whatever, what have you. Hey man, you'll blow the school up. There will be no. Come on, man, stop playing. You are not gonna sit and let that abide. You're not.
Listen, I get what you said. In 2024, I believe more fathers involved than ever. But you can't. You trying to argue with a dude at 14 was dealing with a 40-year-old. Listen.
Hold on, Mandrell. Hold on. So, Eden Man, you said you experienced this yourself?
Absolutely, at 14.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. Let me ask you a question. Did you tell anybody about it?
Absolutely. I remember when I told my uncle that, it's like, how you get down with nephew? Hey, nephew, how you got that? So this idea that men are going to be an uproar just because some 14-year-old or teenager is messing around. And I get we try to go to the stream. We talk about like elementary school. But it is very common, especially in the South, I remember when the 40-year-old hollered at me. I was walking around the neighborhood with no shirt on. Shit. I was out there cutting that grass. And when she noticed me, I was just telling everybody about it. I was excited. I ain't gonna lie. I know a lot of dudes try to act like I actually thought it was a badge of honor. And
here's the thing. Yeah, that.
But man, talk to that point, because I think that's the part that is always missing, is that when we put it in this day and age, but we tend to forget that for a long time, men will look at it the same way how either man look at it, whether this is age group or men that are older than him that he went through. And so he said he was vocal about it, and still nobody attempted to protect
here's
him.
the thing, Sharon. I get what you're saying. That's a failure on those men's part, but I don't come from that world. That's why I'm confused. Like I can't imagine one of the men in my family being okay with that happening. No, not a thing.
And you're in Alabama?
Not possible. Anything that's not a thing in my family. They would not stand by and let that happen. No.
In Alabama?
In Alabama, dude. That shit does not fly here.
Crazy. Okay.
That shit, I'm not even in Alabama anymore. But that shit didn't, even back then, that shit did not fly. Hell no. Especially talking about you got black parents. Hell no.
I think PZ you want to talk to it as well?
No, I know. I just came back, so I don't know what.
Like I said, I'm speaking.
Mandrell, I grew up through the Britney era. Listen.
Yeah, but those are grown people and older teens who went there.
See, that's the problem. What people don't understand. Kids lived on these streets that they had Freaknik on. Y'all think we didn't live there?
No, what I'm saying is I grew up in that era too. If you remember, I'm 45 years old, and speaking of which, I look good too for my age. Okay, you can't tell that I'm 45. You can't. You cannot tell I'm 45. Stop the madness.
Do the Kendra Cam.
Stop the madness. Listen, go to my Instagram. I work out like a beast. And I'm very conscious about what I put in my mouth to eat.
Is that
very
right?
conscious of that. It's one of the things I'm known for. So health and nutrition is what I'm known for. So I mean, and y'all can be immature about all you want to, but my thing, and that's fine. You know, that's y'all, whatever. But my thing is, I just don't get this shit. Like I don't.
Okay, so Mandra, we're gonna welcome somebody else into the show as well. He go by name I Am What I Am, and I believe he might possibly have the same experience that Eda Man had. Truth, do you have the same experience that Eda Man had when an older woman had a sexual encounter at a very young age, and the people in your family, whoever you spoke to, or the people on the street, they looked at it like as a kudos moment, like good for you?
Yeah, good morning. First for the formalities, what's up, Ron B and Lamar, everyone on the panel? It was, my computer lab teacher. It wasn't just me. It was a couple of people on the football team that as well.
Damn.
And my senior year, I had met an ambulance driver. And she was 26.
And you was 17.
Yes. 17 with my computer lab and about to be 18 with the ambulance driver.
Sharon, see, if we be honest, you know who we did not want to find out? Our mamas. We knew our mama would lose their mind in some older women, but men were accepted of it back in the day. We can't act like men just was like, 'cause men didn't look like, they didn't look at it as she was harming you. They looked at that she was pleasing you.
Not in my, I mean, again, not the men I knew growing up. Ain't nowhere in hell. That chick could be in jail so fucking quick.
So now, but man, just so we got two men that said they experienced the same thing. Do you think that your thought pattern should change on
No, not at all. It's wrong, and that's all there is to it. Period. There's nothing to change.
What are we gonna do to get? But what are we gonna do to get more young men to be able to express?
What is the discrepancy that Mandrell saying? I said, what did Mandrell say?
He was saying that it doesn't have men. He was saying that men are not
okay.
Yeah,
with
men are not
older
okay
women coming after younger boys. Like, say you're 16 years old, this chick is 28. No, like what man does that? What man is okay with that? No, no, bro.
Well, I would say
I'm not saying it don't happen, but I'm just saying, bro, nah. Men ain't out here in vast numbers okay with that nonsense.
Yeah,
I don't believe that. That's just me because I haven't seen it. I've heard about this kind of degenerate behavior, but my thing is, okay.
So now,
if they're okay with it, everybody's wrong. Woman is wrong.
Now we got the question. So the question is, do you think the majority of men are okay with an older woman taking advantage of a younger man? That is the question. Go ahead.
No, I do not think that the majority of men are
no,
okay
not
with
the majority. I think sometimes what happens is we have all of us got that little drunk uncle and stuff like that play around and make jokes, but he really don't think it's actually happening. Like
you think you're joking around or exaggerating?
Yeah,
or maybe you're lying about getting some.
Yeah, you need to go get you some pussy and stuff like saying little shit, but he don't really he's not really promoting saying go mess with an older woman, or if he knew that an older woman was messing with his nephew, or my dad knew that happened, he would have been pissed. Not at me, he'd have been livid with that woman, and then he'd have had a conversation with me like, what situation happened that put you in that, that type of situation that
So
yeah, I went
Your
wrong.
daddy
there,
would
but you
your
needed
daddy
to
would have
know.
called the police. True.
good question.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What you
Oh
talking?
God.
Hell
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
All right. Yeah, like that's the point that I'm trying to say. I don't think so.
Everybody would have went to
Shit.
jail, man.
And well, matter of fact, no,
Everybody get
no,
that.
I'm gonna try to tell you, the police probably would have been called. No, he wouldn't have called him. The police would have been called for other situations. I'll say that.
For other reasons, yes.
Yeah.
Because of his reaction,
I will
the
say
police
that.
would have been called. But yeah, I mean,
So hold on. So you saying that he wouldn't have called the police to get locked up for SNU, but the police would have been called because he would have been whooping somebody's ass.
He'd have been pissed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody,
That's
somebody
different.
No, but that's two
That's
different things.
totally
So now we having two different conversations, right? Because now we talking about Batman. But what we talking about is that most of the time we hear it on these panels all the time. We even heard somebody in the comment section today, Black, right? He said, "What, you scared of vagina?" It is a thing that, especially in our culture, as the Black male culture, that you are not supposed to be scared of no damn vagina.
He said that?
Yes, Black.
Who said this?
Yes, in the chat, he said that
Well,
himself.
see, Sharon, okay, so
Oh, wait, somebody in the
Yes,
chat
sir.
said you're supposed to be scared of vagina, right?
No, you're not supposed to be scared, no matter what age. If you're 14,
Okay,
you're supposed to
Sharon,
get
you
that
do realize,
vagina.
Sharon, you do realize that dude's just, whoever it is just trolling.
I don't
If
think
he
so.
had a son. There's no way he'd be okay with his son going through something like that.
Yeah.
No way you love your children, or even if you don't love them, you just care about them. There's no, or if you don't even have that kind of emotion, that's your seed, that's family. There's something there with your child to where the protection does come in.
it's
All right,
still
well, hold on.
You're not going to be okay with that. There's no way.
They're not going to be.
Hold on, let me break down this argument because I really want to break down what y'all saying. Do you
I got you,
believe?
Lamar. Thank you, Lamar, for being patient.
Do you believe most men have a problem with their teenage son having sex? Let's start there.
Yes.
No,
That is crazy. All right, see, that's why we're not being truthful.
Okay, no. Okay, so now you asked a different question. See, I'm actually listening. No, most men aren't.
All right, okay, cool. Now let's build on that. All right, so you have a 14-year-old son. What is the oldest you think men are okay with him having sex with?
Ooh, good question.
Okay, so I'm gonna speak for myself.
3-year difference?
I'm gonna speak for myself.
Not at 14.
I have an 18-year-old son now. And thank God he has not been out here, from my knowledge, being promiscuous.
Okay, let's go back to my question though. You have a 14.
That is the answer.
I got you. You answered.
Okay.
You did. Do you believe you answered my question, Drew?
Yes. From my
okay. Mandrell, can you answer my question?
Okay, what was the question again? Because I want to make sure I really do answer your question.
If you have a 14-year-old son, and based on truth knowledge, he's saying that it's okay for his 14-year-old son to have sex. What is the oldest you think that it is okay for him to have sex with?
The oldest, a woman, the oldest age of the girl, you mean?
Yes, sir.
If he's 14, I hope he's not having sex at that age, number one. But I say the oldest I'll go is about 15.
He shouldn't be having sex at all.
So, hold on.
You shouldn't be having sex at all at 14.
That's my point.
Hold on. So, Mandrell, you only going 1 year difference.
If you're 14 years old, that's it, bro. What do you mean?
Okay, so most men are okay with. Okay, so Mandrell, you're okay with your son having sex at 14?
No, I'm not okay with it. But if he's going to do it anyway.
Okay, so that's the disagreement already. And then if you found out that he was having sex, you only okay with it with a 1 year gap.
I'm not okay with that either. But I'm just like, if it's only a 1 year difference, okay, I can take that element out of it. As far as the age gap,
right?
Okay, that element, there's no big danger there. There's no predatory thing there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's no cougar coming after my kid. These are people of comparable ages.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So don't think I'm okay with it, because I'm not.
Right. We understand.
But what I'm saying is,
conversation.
I want
to get Lamar and say, like, Truth really want to speak on this part. So the age gap, Truth, what hold on, let me ask you a question. What age gap are you willing to accept for your son to have with him, that we have to accept that he already started at 14? We got to get past that part, right? Let's just act like we passed that. What is the age gap that you are willing to allow?
Okay, so as far as
Fuck up in 2024. You sound
Yo. God damn.
You're wrong.
Good truth.
You're right. You're right. I know you're gonna go to Lamar, but you know the funny part about this, it's not these guys, but the same guys who got a problem with this 2 years. We'll hear them say that a man should be 10 to 15 years older than a woman and dating her. Come on now. That's why I don't believe them. I don't
Yeah,
believe them.
I'm not with that either, E-Man. 10 to 15 years. Now, granted, I mean, there's an age gap between my wife and I, but you know,
how much is the age gap, Mandrell?
I'm 45, she's 32.
Oh my God!
Now,
how long have you been with this woman?
Damn. We just got married in February.
Yeah, but how long did you date her?
A long time, actually. We did it a while.
Predator.
No, I'm not a predator. She PhD, but she was 30. How am I a predator?
You said you dated her a long time.
Hold on. I'm confused about what's going on. Mandra, how old are you?
45.
You 45. And how old is she?
32.
And how long y'all been dating? Since she was what age?
Well, we met a long time ago, but as far as like talking and talking and stuff like that, when
you first met her, how old was she?
She was in her 20s. That was like I said, a long time ago. I was in my 30s.
Grooming.
What?
I'm not grooming anybody.
Predator.
How am I a predator?
Blink twice if you need help, sis. We coming.
No, I get what y'all said. I just want y'all guys to understand.
So she was 20. So hold on. So you're saying she was 20 and you was 30?
She was in her 20s, and I was in my 30s.
So you was at least 33. If she was 20, you was 33. Because y'all what, 13 years apart?
No, I was older than that.
Oh,
we met like 11 years ago, I want to say.
Oh, so she was.
But we didn't date at that time.
But we didn't date at that time. She was 21. She was 21.
But we didn't date at that time, PhD.
Grooming, yeah, the grooming is a process. You had
I didn't groom anybody.
It was malleable and where you could slide in.
What was the matter? And see, there you go. Girl. You don't know the nature of our relationship. Yet you're talking about it. You're speaking on it.
And then he inserted himself little by little. He put
we didn't
have.
We never had sex way back then.
Right, it was a process. Yeah, he said he doing the slow roast. He gonna do the slow roast on her.
Jesus Christ.
So all right. So if that's going to be fair for Mandrell, so therefore we got to say share is the same thing. She's a groomer as well.
Yeah, if it's two adults, I don't see the problem.
Is 21 an adult?
If it's
it's not a groomer. She's just an old ass bitty.
Yeah, if you're 21, you're an adult.
Oh, they say your brain don't finish developing until you about 25, 26. So I didn't know which way we was going. But see, at 21, you could still be molded.
You can vote. You can vote. You can drink. A PhD, but you can be molded at 50.
If it's a man that's 30 some odd years old,
PhD, but you can be molded at 50 years old. Brainwashing doesn't have an age on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So you well versed in brainwashing. Okay, I get it.
But no, I'm
let me step in. Come on, man. Because you.
Okay, so all right, so we're gonna get Lamar Black Attack in the conversation. Then we'll go Bolo TV.
If it's two grown people, I don't like. What are we talking about here? Where's the issue?
No, hold on. Let me speak on this. Okay.
Listen to your brother.
I got a 14-year-old teenager, and I'm worried about his seed. That's why most of us, not me personally, but that's why most black people get on child support. You should, you got to watch your seed. So I'm going to tell my son, watch your seed from the teachers, from the preachers, and everybody involved. So no, I don't approve to him having sex because I want to be have a good chance in life.
But Lamar, that's why
there's no but to it, man.
Listen.
So
we're not in the 50s no more.
I want to let Eden ask you a question, but you're not going to tell him to go get that $75,000?
No, that's a myth. And everybody think they know about Japan, but they don't live over here. So they found like a term, like in the 1920s and shit. They say this term mean this.
So they're not offering families $75,000 to have children.
No, they do give us incentive for having children because there's a population problems. So by us living here, we have 2 children. Yeah, the community they do help us out with tax incentives and stuff like that because the young people have to pay their retirement fees, right? When you retire, it's the young people in the workforce that are going to pay you for your old age, right? So yes, and they do have incentives to get geeky people together. If you're really geeky, they trying to get people to talk to each other.
So it's for family, it's for married people? This 70
No,
this,
that's yeah.
I'm talking about okay, so
Okay.
When I'm actually, you are actually there, so this is a good question before either man get into it. So this incentive of $75,000 to have children is not even existence at all.
No.
Okay, go ahead, either man.
Lamar, I have more of a statement down the question. This is why the men around me was okay with it. Because those old women,
I know that's 50 years ago. We talk about now, new knowledge and new data.
All right,
we talk
cool.
about now.
No, the point
when I was growing up.
The whole point that I'm trying to say is her tubes was tied, they was burnt.
You didn't know that?
Okay. Yeah, yes, I did.
No, you didn't know that. Okay,
Right.
now on that
You're right.
stuff,
You gonna tell me
it
what
was
I knew.
around when I was
right.
around. I had
You was there.
sisters and mothers
You was there.
that loved me
right.
and kept me from those 304s.
I forgot you was there. You're right.
All right, so
the 304s was just after Lamar, y'all. Just on every
no, hey, I
he
was
could
trying to
walk down the street with the
My
304s
sister was
trying
like
to get at him.
Debo.
Come here, Lamar. Come here.
Your sister was like Debo.
Nah,
You don't know how powerful chocolate milk is, PhD, but you don't know how powerful it is. It's kryptonite.
All right, let me welcome into the show, Bolo TV. What's your thoughts?
I'm lying about Japan too. Y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Salutations.
What's up, Bolo?
Hey, Bolo.
He spoke to me, man. I got beef.
You got beef?
We're gonna get into that later. We'll get into that later, Bolo. But I got a phone to pick with you.
Hair froze over.
Do you know your man hit me up, Sharon and PhD?
Who?
What man?
Big
J?
Oh Lord.
He sent me yesterday. He sent me a DM. I mean, I guess he left a message. And he was like, "You hide behind Sharon and this and that. Don't you come for me?" And my response to him was, "Listen, I'm too big to hide behind anybody, and God's light's too bright to hide. So I'm not front at all." So he was like, "Well, you know what? I'm gonna have a thing. Why don't you show up tonight?" So I was like, "Send me the invite. I'll show up." But this was about 10 o'clock at night, and I'm getting old, so I went to sleep.
That's it.
He had his little 2-hour thing. And then I thought about it and I was like, to show up to some place that's out of order, to show up to some place that's out of order to try to have a conversation in order makes no sense. I mean, the topics that this dude was talking about, he brought up, how come you guys, again, he talks about Tommy Sotomayor, he's talking about Angry Man and talking about Mr. Fantastic, when this should be a conversation about you and I. How come y'all don't? How come y'all give them the red carpet and don't give me the red carpet? He brought you up, PH Diva. I don't know if you've seen it.
No.
He brought you up. He says, because
Hey, Bolo, nobody's seen it. Nobody saw it.
That's the problem, right? Nobody's seen it.
Nobody saw it but you.
But with the conversation, I just throw that in there. But with the conversation you guys are having now, this is why it's so important for the men to be involved in these young cats' life.
Yes.
Because again, what PhD is saying is absolutely true, right? The human brain doesn't finish developing until the age of 28. So when you're saying, a lot of the times we ask these young men and these young ladies to do things that, that emotionally and scientifically they're unable to do. That's why a lot of the times if someone says something to you, it gets stored into your cerebellum. And then later, when you can quantify when your brain is fully developed, you now can take that experience and kind of match it to what's going on in real life and say, oh, that's what they meant. Right. And the brain is real special like that. So when you're talking about 14-year-olds and you're entering a world that emotionally they can't understand. They can't quantify it because, you got adult males and adult females that can't understand their emotions. Can you imagine a 14-year-old boy? And I say this all the time. I'd rather deal with an emotional chihuahua than an emotional pit bull. Pit bulls are damage that's emotional. So, that's dangerous. And again, like what, even though PhD was making, joking about it lightly, this is why men go for younger girls and this is why women go for younger boys, because they can mold them.
Damn.
Because they can be molded. But it's dangerous when we enter into this world. This is why we try to tell them, don't grow up so fast. Mama used to say, don't you rush to get old. This is why we tell them to slow down, because you're entering a world. Like once they taste of that nectar, once you taste of that juice, there's no going back.
Can't put it back in the bottle.
You can't put it back in the bottle. You can't. Once that bear tastes human blood, you gotta delete that bear, because that's what you're gonna want. So now instead of them having, instead of leading with the emotion, mental, and spiritual, they're gonna lead with the physical, because that's what you introduce them to. And that's why, you have this society desensitizing our children to this world. They don't know ABCs, yet they want to talk about, the birds and the bees. So it's a very dangerous and slippery slope when we open up that door to these young men and young women, man. It's very dangerous.
But Bola, I'm gonna say this. I think my experience as a teenager made me an excellent father. That's why, like, me having a stay-at-home mom was not negotiable. I was like, hey, you staying at home, because I understood a child that had the ability to be out in the streets, the world is going to gobble those people up. So, and then also my interaction with women, I think that, all of my friends, when they first got their girlfriend, they was like whipped, like they was like whipped, and I wasn't, because I had already had an experience. So I know we're talking about a bad thing, but I learned so much from what I went through.
But see, here's the problem with that, Eda, man. You're talking about the exception. What we're talking about is the rule. You know what I'm saying? Not every young man, 14, 15, is going to have that thought process. Like, how many geniuses as children do we have? Not that many, right? So, yeah, you came out of it. Yeah, you learned from it. But there's going to be 100 other children that ain't. Now, are we willing to put that 101 children up there to get that one that's going to figure it out and lose the other 100? Because you got these young boys that are wrapped up into these older women.
That's a great question, Bolo. Let me answer that one. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think even that's why I'm an example of this in my life, is we have to change it. But I still had to play the cards that I was dealt.
But I understand. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that you're able. So you're one of those guys that can speak from a young age and say, listen, how many times do we have people say, well, my grandparents smoked cigarettes and they didn't get cancer?
But then they smoked for 6 years and they die of cancer.
You know what I'm saying? It don't mean that you're not gonna get it. Everything affects everyone differently, and that's the overall conversation that we have with these young men. Listen, I'm counseling about 50 cats right now, grown men to young children, and let me show you how special these young children are. With the grown men that I'm talking to, right? You know who was the only one to ask me how I was doing? It was a young child.
That's not true.
It is, Mandrell. Before you did, a young child asked me, 15, said to me, yo, how are you doing, Bolo? How are you? Because you talk to so many people. How are you doing? It brought tears to my eyes. You know what I'm saying? So again, that's a special kid. How many of them do we have? Not saying that these children ain't special, but everyone is raised differently and everyone matures at a different rate. So again, you happen to be that one in a million. So I would like you to be that example to these young cats and say, listen, man, I've seen so many young men fall at the wayside. Yeah, I was different. The Lord blessed me to be this way. But don't take that thought process that just because he did it, I can do it.
So, Eda, man, do you think that woman was a predator and you was preyed upon?
Today, I would say yes. I might have came to that reality maybe a year ago, though. So I'm not gonna say, because I just felt that I was different. I thought I was special until I found out all my friends was messing with it too. but that's a whole nother conversation.
And there it is, man. There it is.
I thought I was
right
I
there.
ain't gonna lie.
You didn't understand the situation. You were young, bro.
Yeah,
you were young. You didn't understand. I mean, so and then you find out everybody else is hitting it too. You're like, oh, wait, it ain't just me. No.
And the biggest problem is a lot of us got lucky, and we don't want to admit that we got lucky. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have been on child support at 14 years old. You could have had a baby you don't want because she might be the OC.
No, they would not have put him on child support at 14 if she's over 18, because then
I don't know the law that well because I never.
The law here you can't. No, she'd have gone to jail. Trying to put him on child support, she'd have gone to jail for child molestation.
I know, but
in order for her to get the child support, she has to incriminate herself.
I know, but she could have broke his heart at 14 years old. First heartbreak. She could have broke his heart. First heartbreak.
Yeah, she could have broke his heart. That's true.
He could have self-deleted. Come on, it's a serious thing.
Stop. See that's
no, it's not. Now we have the data. We have information. We got to teach the information. We can't say 50 years ago I was slinging that thing. Come on, if it was wrong, it was just wrong. We just got to admit, look, I messed up. I got lucky that I didn't mess up.
I didn't mess up as a 14-year-old kid. I don't think so. I know people can try to paint.
Okay, so E, was you after this? Was she your first experience?
No.
I know so many I met so many teenage boys heartbroken that want to leave this place. So you can't tell me that teenage boys don't get their heart broke and they don't want to self-exit.
But how do we encourage boys to delay engaging in sex, right? So I just don't think a 14-year-old should be doing it anyway. So how do we encourage them to delay it?
By example, PhD, the older cooler guys that these young men look up to need to talk about it. The same way the older cooler guys that these young cats are looking at are perpetuating this lifestyle that that they're not living, but they perpetuate this lifestyle, and these guys want to emulate them. You know what I'm saying? They, in their heart, they say, damn, I want to be like this dude here. Not knowing that this dude goes home. I don't know if you guys seen that video of the big brolic cat that tried to make fun of the father. They were all on stage on the Fresh and Fit. And when the guy goes home, he goes home by himself. Got all that money, but you alone. Money can't make you happy, my G. So we need to let these young men know that the life that these cats are pushing is not real life. They're pushing a thought process that they themselves are not living. You look at Donovan Sharp. He was telling you don't deal with a woman that's pregnant or that had a child before you, or a woman that's at a certain age. And everything he said not to do in a woman, he did. Married a woman older than him, married a woman that had a baby, married a woman. In fact, he said that the daughter was his niece.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So when they came to him, he was like, yeah, I was trying to protect her. But you were pushing a lifestyle, my G, that, and you capitalized off it. You profited off it. You berated these men that was saying, I love this chick. And you did it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to let these guys know that it's okay to be slow. It's okay to get your act together. It's okay not to have 8 children by the time you're 20. It's okay, and not berate them. Even when it comes to, depression, it's okay to go get help. In the Black community, we're the quickest to say, man, you broke. You a sucker. You weak. We got to stop that. You got a broken leg, you go get it fixed. You get your tooth messed up, you go to the dentist. Well, if mentally you ain't right, like the young man said, Lamar, these young cats don't have the mental fortitude to work through it at 14 years old. You don't have the mental fortitude to work through a relationship. You don't. As far as you're concerned, this woman is your whole world. So, and then she says, I don't want to be with you, and go deal with somebody else. What do you expect them to do?
So, but Bolo, what if, because the men around me said that's life. All men hearts are going to get broken. That don't give you a reason to try to delete yourself. Idea that, hold on, let me just land it. This idea that we need to shield men to from the world, I don't agree with it. What do you say to that, sir?
I'll say this. Okay, again, we need to stop going to the extremes. I know I can't shield my child from everything, The worst thing that I can do is not tell my child the truth. My job is to prepare my child for the world for what it is, not what I want it to be, right? Give them the coping mechanisms and the tools so that when they navigate this wicked ass world, they're able to figure things out and rationalize what's in the real world. So it's not about shielding them from it. It's not about shielding. You can never shield your child. You know, your child got to go to school, you got to go to work, or whatever the situation might be. So it's not about shielding them. It's about, you know, parsing out certain information that they could understand. In other words, I'm not going to tell my young child who's 5 about algebra. They don't understand it, but I'll parse out information so that I can build them up to that understanding. Now, again, sex is all over the place. So unfortunately, we got to open up that door a little bit earlier. But I'd rather give it to them from a safe place than from them to go into a candy store and just ball out. You know what I'm saying? So again, I don't want you to have sex, but here's a condom, because I know you're gonna probably get caught up. I don't want you to think that me giving you this condom is giving you permission to do it. What I'm saying to you is, if you're gonna do it, because I can't be with you at all times, strap up.
And also want to welcome all the new viewers. How does this have anything to do with the topic of the thumbnail? So it has everything to do with it. So maybe you just walked in. So, or maybe you just one of those people that just want to start an argument just to start an argument. So the conversation that we are having is that young men, especially underage men, they need to wait to have sex. They need to not be afraid to be ridiculed for being so-called afraid of vagina. We got to stop with that silly talk. We got to stop with the idea that a woman cannot SA a man, because that's what that has to do with the topic of the conversation. Because a young woman, she's SA'd a man on a live stream. If it was the other way around, this whole YouTube would have been up in arms if a man would have just came and put his hand down a woman's pants and put his finger inside her vagina.
That's a fact.
And isn't that being socially aware? That the floors are uneven when it comes to men and women. I remember that there was a girl, a teacher that got pregnant by a student. I think he was 14, 15 years old.
Yeah. This was
put him on child support, Sharon.
Exactly. Child support, yeah.
They put my G on child support. Now, if that was the other way around, they would have put him under the jail.
Right.
So it's about making sure that they're emotionally aware, spiritually aware about the environment that they're going into. My G, first of all, it's not fair.
And not only that too, but also that they do have protection from us older men.
Absolutely.
Because the problem is that most of the time when we had these conversations, young men, they would get teased for saying, hey, an older person is trying to give me some of this seasoned Lowry's MSG vagina. They would say, go and get it. And this is what Either Man was really trying to talk towards. Go ahead.
Right. And that's the point. You know, again, you know, Either Man happened to be one of them dudes that, you know, didn't get tainted by, you know, tasting of the nectar early. You know, not everyone is like that. So
but at the same time, Bolo, he was very promiscuous when he was younger.
But see, what I'm saying is when we get on this stage, right? There's over 200 people in here. When we get on this stage, we're speaking in general. We're speaking to the masses. So to the masses, we say, dude, don't rush. Don't rush. You know what I'm saying? Your time will come. What's meant for you is meant for you. Can't no one take it away. Women will be here. Just do what you need to do to mentally get to where you need to be so that you can make these decisions. You know what I'm saying? The right decision, or the best that you can at that moment.
So, Either Man, I don't want to be too much about you. I also want to get truth in there. What do you think older men need to do to make sure that the younger men understand that it is okay to damn, what's the words I'm looking for?
Not hit it.
Save themselves to an older age.
Right.
I think the biggest thing that needs to happen is the fathers need to be in the home. I think I know we believe that we can father from a distance, right? That's what I call it.
You can't be done.
Yeah, so fathering
I agree
from
with you, man.
I think fathering from a distance open your kids up for those types of exposure. because the mother now, she has to go to work because she's the only, she got to provide for the family. And typically this is when we get those lock key kids. These are the kids that they know how to cook for themselves. They know how to walk into the house. And you got to understand the world is not going to have, sympathy or empathy for your kids because that's your kids and not them. So the biggest aspect that I say is we got to get to the point where two people's in the house and we're heavily involved in our kids' life. Like and that's why people thought I was crazy when we was having a conversation about I talk to my kids about everything. We talk about everything because I understand what I went through as a kid, and I can't be naive as a parent and not have these real conversations because I know what reality is because of my experience.
Absolutely.
PhD, if you want to jump in?
No, y'all can have it.
Go ahead, Truth. I want to get your thoughts on it as well. Go ahead, Truth.
Yeah, everything that Bolo was saying. It's nothing, pretty much too much to add. I think we do have to do a better job because of the world that we live in. I will always say we conflate the 3 R's: right, reality, and reason. And a lot of times we talk about reality as in that's the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to educate our children early as possible because they're going to be exposed to this stuff on television. They're in school so early now, and it's getting earlier and earlier. So we have to let them know the dangers of even, being involved in promiscuous environments or situations. It's very dangerous, even with our own households, family members. That's why it's best for us to really get in a situation where the mom is with the child consistently because I don't trust people. I didn't even really trust people around my children. You see what I'm saying? I wanted to make sure it was a situation where I was around them as much as possible, staying the night over people's houses, people watching them, because I know certain shit that I was exposed to young by me staying the night over people's houses, people watching me while my mother went to work, so on and so forth. This is how it starts. You find your uncle's, old cassette tapes and there's pornos and shit on there. And then next day you watching that shit. You see what I'm saying? And then it starts from there because you don't know how that shit fucks up your mind. You just think, you seen some crazy shit. And then next thing you seen that at 7, 5 years later, you done had sex for the first time. 3 years later, you find your first crush. That situation mess you up. Then you go into a situation where, you find another relationship, you cheat, and then you fall into a situation where you constantly and consistently promiscuous with a plethora of women. And then it just snowballs into something huge.
So
it's a very bad thing.
So do we need to have more protection for our younger men, Truth?
Yes.
The fuck up in 2024. You sound
Oh shit!
You wrong, bro. You are so wrong, man.
Let me add something right quick. Okay,
so he got. Oh man, he got hit with a 40 ball, so he got a half an hour.
He did.
Let me ask something right quick. Black women always worked. I never seen. Because I'm from inner city.
Right now.
Never seen that black women didn't work.
Yeah, but no, he said something that I live on, and I have lived on this, and people thought I crazy. My kids are not spending the night at nobody's house.
Absolutely.
Point blank. Listen. Point blank. Period. I don't know how well you think I know you. Matter of fact, I don't even let people babysit my kids.
At your mother's house?
Right.
So I think
You
these
on
are
fire
things.
today, E.
I'll just tell people I'll let people baby kids. You know who watch my kids?
So
my
not
wife.
even family. So not even family members.
Mother house?
What about family members? Is okay? Or
I know that sounds crazy, but even like my mother and my wife's mother have only watched our kids. Now we have our younger kids. They might only watch them one time. Okay. And I'm comfortable with them being with our mother and my mother-in-law. That's not the point that I'm
my next
saying.
question, E, do you have a lot of family close by to where you live at now?
I have my wife holds families where we're at. Now my family is mostly in Georgia unless they visit.
Okay, so I mean,
But
that's understandable.
but even when it comes down to it, like say for example, if the whole point that I'm saying is you should watch your own kids. I know people want to say I want to like I don't understand. I'm going to the club, so I'm dropping my kids off. No, I think those type lifestyles should actually go away when you have kids. And if
Can I
you
add
want to
this
keep,
to it, too?
Go ahead.
I think you made a very good point that we just went over, E, that, you know, creating self-esteem in our children.
Ooh.
That's very important. I think that, you know, when you said it, I think you didn't put too much on it, even though what you said was so important. A lot of the time, these kids are able to be, you know, bullied or pressured into things because the self-esteem is not built up enough, you know, and we need to create that self-esteem in our children to let them know that if you choose to go left or you choose to go right, you do what's best for you. Don't allow peer pressure to get into you. So, you know, creating self-esteem, letting a child know that it's okay to be who you are and it's okay to be alone. No, don't ever, you know,
I think that is a very key point. I think that's why, for me, so many people have a problem. That's why I watch my words very carefully about the things I say, because I know my own grown-ass children are watching it. So I cannot just say anything and say just because I want to get viewers or I want to get people to laugh or so-called pandering, because that's why I believe a lot of these men, when they just saying these disparaging things about especially a specific group of women, is because they don't have people that actually know them watching these shows. So when they online and they saying all these dumb things and these funny things or disparaging things, because nobody that actually knows them is watching. All these people are strangers. Me, I have personal people that knows me, have my phone number, been to my household, know me, and I gotta be able to say who I am at all times, online and offline. I gotta be able to substantiate my words at all times. So that's probably why a lot of people have problems with me, I believe. Because when they are online, they are somebody completely different. And they cannot fathom the fact that I'm holding to my words in this space and outside in the real world as well.
I think it's because you got the juice, but we ain't gonna talk about the juice. But so I think what we need to do is you should because you gotta understand. I grew up in a world where you'll go to your cousin's house for a whole week. Listen, you like that. That was just what it was. Like we would like move together. We'll be at one person's house for a week, and we'll go over there, and we did like this circle thing. I just think, especially in 2024, parents have to be involved in their kids more than ever. And this is, and people don't understand why my kids.
Either man, people want you to stop calling children baby goats.
Okay, I don't know when I did that, but
when you said kid,
when you say kids are baby goats.
Yeah, kids. So I'm gonna do it again.
Kid or kids is a baby goat. So the people in the audience want you to stop it. Call them children or offspring. Don't call them a kid.
All right, so like when I talk about my kids, I just want people to understand that y'all don't understand. Like I have the one thing I can say is I feel like I have one of the most confidence in this space. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and if you don't like it, like Sharon said, hit the X and come back and watch in about 30 minutes because I'll be gone. And
you can kick his ass off too. You can also do that.
You always can do that. But hey, just remember, I might be the one today, so just let you know. But no, so that's the only thing is I think we just have to get involved. We got to start asking questions. We can't assume. We can't say that it's somebody else's responsibility to teach our kids, because I think that's what we do a lot. We pass the buck. We say it's their responsibility to talk to my kids about sex. It's their responsibility. I thought that was your child. That's your responsibility as the parent.
Well, let me say this too. It's everyone's responsibility. And on my channel, we have doctors, lawyers, clinical therapists, all that stuff. And what's so important is, again, with all of these self deletions that these children are committing, it's important to notice the signs.
Ooh.
It's very important to notice the signs, right? So we have a doctor. She's on our channel named Lyric. And she gave us some examples that we should look for, right? So let's say if your child is being bullied and you don't know. Typically, when children tend to delete themselves, they tend to give everything away. It's one of the signs if they're giving all their toys away. Second,
that again?
If they give all their toys away.
That means what?
That's a sign that they're saying goodbye.
Yeah, they made a decision already.
Another sign is if all of their toys are facing away. That means that depression is there to the point where they might be thinking of self-deleting. And one that always stuck with me when she said this is if you go to their closet and all of one side is cleared and one side is not.
Let me add one more.
Is this only for children or this for grown folks as well?
But this is more for children because, with grown folk, we tend to hide it a lot better. With children, they don't think things through like that. So what she was saying, which is very important, is as adults, as parents, children don't have their own space in your home. Now, again, you don't be disrespectful with it. If they go to school, go in their room and start looking around just to make sure that everything is on the up and up. You're not their friends. You're their parent. They only make one mother and father. They can always get friends. They can always get friends. This is how important this thing can get, man. So when Either Man is saying create an environment of love, create give the kids, and PhD, you can tell me if I'm wrong, give these kids self-esteem, create these things for these kids, because when you don't understand, when they leave your home, they gotta go deal with that world, man. That world is crazy out there. And a lot of the times we don't want to get into that conversation because it's doom and gloom, Sharon. It is. But we have to get into it because a lot of the times, remember, back in the days, if I wanted to reach PhD, I went to her house, right? I don't have to do that no more. I can get on a phone, computer. She's available to me 24 hours a day. Everyone has their phone. Everyone has social media.
Yeah. It is.
Hey, I want to add one more for the self-deletion for children and adults. If they are depressed and all of a sudden they get happy, and they made decision. I mean, they made their plan is fixed. None of you happy that they found a resolve for their problems.
Absolutely.
So all you're happy.
All right. I want to get back into the range.
Hey, let me one thing and then we'll get back to it. Here's the statistic. When a child actually self-deletes, they've actually tried at least 15 times prior to that.
Lord. That's crazy as well. That's a
crazy MF, Martin Luther King.
I'm sorry for going left with it. I apologize.
It's okay. Hey, it's good information for whoever needed it. They got it. So that's the important part, because sometimes we don't know why we have to go left. Somebody that is out there, they need to hear that information because maybe they didn't know about they children's teddy bears and toys turned around, and now they know. If their child is giving away their toys, now they know. So whatever reason, it might be just for one person out there. They heard that information. They could save somebody that they know that is younger, a cousin, a nephew, whatever that information was needed for whatever that reason was. It is what it is. Sometimes it's just what it got to be. Go ahead, Diva.
No, I was just going to ask if we can do super chats. I'm about to start driving in a minute, so.
No problem. Let's get to it.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
You there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. Crash out Jack, broke Dusty, and wants beef always. I was told once that judges avoid sentencing women because they make bad inmates and they cost more to house. Between the mental and health costs, no profit.
God damn, that sounds crazy.
JC, I bet he was stuttering in the DM too.
Yeah.
Crash out Jack. What is a child? Is a 19-year-old? Is a 24-year-old a child?
Black. No, you're 24. You're not a child anymore.
Of course, you gonna say that, groomer.
Oh,
Black
shit.
lion, I deal with
I
lion.
ain't groomed
Where
anybody.
are my manners? Morning basic individual. Next level moving forward. What about experienced people who only seek inexperienced people? Is that grooming? What about kids are hypersexual due to what they see at home? Is that grooming? Crash Out Jack, I always ask, what is a child? Because if everyone under the age of 30 is a child because their brain isn't developed, who is going to hold that 25-year-old child accountable when they commit a crime? What is a child? Children
The
can
law
still be
is.
held accountable for their crimes, right?
The
They
law
got
is. Yeah.
juvenile hall for a reason. Crash Out Jack. Also, should we increase the age of consent to 21?
That's a state issue. That's a state issue, not a federal one.
Look at Mandrell, because he would have lost out if we did. Nevertheless, Sexy Red TV. Thank you for the super sticker. Mandrell, I'm just giving you a hard time.
So I think also the problem is also a lot of women, they do believe in that red pill rhetoric of that they are the gatekeepers to sex, and that's why they do not feel a certain way if they try to attack it first, at least over here on this side of the world. I think that's another issue that
I don't think that's it either. I don't think that's it, Sharon.
So you don't think that is a issue why an older woman is willing to go after a 14-year-old man?
Yeah, not because she thinks she's a
this
gatekeeper.
woman that was on video that she went after a man even though he didn't do anything. It was children in the room and everything. She went over there, hugged him, and put her hands down his pants.
Not because they think they're the gatekeepers of sex. No.
Well,
I think you guys are trying to put way too much thought into an issue that's just not that hard to understand, man. I mean, bottom line is the chick was just horny.
What?
A lot of times that's the long and short of it. It's like on these panels, people act like women don't get horny. They do have needs as well.
Yeah,
like, you guys say all the time that okay, women can't have sex with a man and then just forget about it like men do. I'm like, yeah, they do. Women get on these panels and tell you they do. You know what I'm saying? Why are you not listening to it? My question is, why are you not listening to what they're telling you the answers?
But here's the thing on that. Women need to hold other women accountable.
They do. I'm not denying any of that, Bolo. I'm not denying any of that.
Right. So I mean, if it's at the end of the day, that's the problem. The problem is, I understand the accountability for men is more than it is for women just because we are men. I get that. So that's not my argument. So let me throw that out the door. If you have a woman that is sexually groping a man, and one, it's double for one, he can't say nothing about it because everyone's gonna call him a punk. You know what I'm saying? This chick is you can't do nothing, and then you have to succumb to it because he might have felt the way. I forget the name of the actor. He said he wouldn't kiss a woman, and he didn't get no work for 7 years. So the point is, we gotta hold the same way. Men need to hold women accountable. Women need to hold women accountable, and society needs to hold us accountable too. We have to understand that no woman can just come up behind me and grab me if I don't know you and if I don't want to be grabbed. They gotta understand that.
Go ahead, Diva.
So certainly, men get the consent too, right? But I think a lot of times the issue is that men present it as if they don't have any consent, right? Mm-hmm. So they say, "Oh, women, control sex," as if a woman want to have sex with you, you just obligated as a man to do it, right? Mm-hmm. Men control it too because you got the first right of refusal.
Absolutely,
right.
Go ahead, Swan.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem that I think is also so. We gotta have the ideology and a philosophy that yes, man, you gotta value your peen and your seed as well. Just because a woman is willing to bust it wide open for you, and you don't know that they hold the key to sex, so this is the only chance I'm gonna get. No, say hell no, you dirty little seasoned MSG vagina. I don't want none of it. And you could also go to a grown ass man and say, "Hey, uncle, this lady did such and such," and the fucking uncle, father, or whatever. Unlike what happened with Eat a Man, where they gave him props for it and said, "You the man, young man." We need older men to say, "Hey, do the proper steps so this way they can actually start attempting to convict these women of these allegations.
You know who was really traumatized by this whole situation when I think
Shit.
back on it? Because I wasn't traumatized. I don't think I was.
Don't tell me that lady was.
Her son. She had a son that was at our school.
Uh-oh. Wait, how he know?
Because you know how you get to argue with somebody and they might be like, man, that's why I hit your mama. But you know it's real.
In other words, that's what you said. That's what you said.
Right. So that's the thing. We also need to teach y'all to learn how to keep your mouth shut. Like you getting some draws shouldn't be a communal, talking point or a communal knowledge, right?
But you see,
but that's
PhD. You see the way he framed it, though. You see the way he said, know, when you get into arguments, things come out.
I think that's why I'm so pushing back on this conversation that nobody knew, because most younger men brag about these things. They don't keep it a secret.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of how I knew, because I remember I was bragging to one, and I'm thinking about it. He was younger than me. He was 2 years younger than me, but I was bragging about it with one of my friends. He was like, "I'm doing it too," and I thought he was playing. And she confirmed it. I was bragging to my other friend. He was like, "Yeah, I hit that too." So it's this idea that nobody knew. I think it's crazy. I think everybody knew. I just think people didn't care.
If you were bragging about it, I mean, you was not him.
That's you crazy. that sounds crazy. At 14, I was him too, dog.
But the thing is, so that's why I have to push back on this notion that, we can't, the boys are just too afraid to tell anybody because they gonna be ridiculed. And what? These motherfuckers will make straight F's on their report card and everybody call them a dummy. You know what I'm saying? And that don't change their behavior in no shape, form, or fashion. But if somebody do something to you now, that's when you so concerned about what other folks gonna say.
So, but this is the thing that either man said. He said he wouldn't have told his mama that because mama would have did the proper action. But the men in his family, they said, "Hey, go ahead, little nephew, get some of that goddamn lotteries."
I know, but what about your sisters, aunties, and cousins?
Well, you see, as young men, PhD, cats, their ideologies are stupid.
Stop telling me like that.
Their ideologies are off, right? If you go to school and get A's, you're a nerd. If you have sex with an older woman, you the man. You know what I'm saying? There's no in between with these young men.
That's a great point.
There's no in between. So it's like, damn. These cats, they create this facade to be anything that person in that environment or whatever environment that they're in to be. That is so crazy.
All right, let's not paint no narratives. I wasn't making no F's in school now.
I'm not saying you was, brother. I'm just saying, so we keep dealing.
I'm joking.
You're the example, baby. We're talking about all those other cats that get on. I mean, listen, you know how you know who those cats are? Look at the conversation that they're having now. Some of the dudes and some of the conversations that they have now, that's how you know if they were them dudes back then.
So, because we also got to be careful, right? Because we also have young rappers like Little RT. He's another example of, we covered him before, and he have conversations that is wild. He have records that he's a little rapper. He's only about like 8-9 years old, talking about getting head in his song and running from the police. And recently, I believe he also got a video of him getting twerked on by grown women. So like it's a big problem. We had Little Boosie making sure that his son was not a virgin by paying for a sex worker to do things with his goddamn child. So it is a much larger thing than what we're trying to make it seem like. It is a lot of men that are advocates of young men having sexual relations with their Lowry's vagina.
Yeah, listen, sickness only knows sickness. Hurt people hurt people. So if I'm around and all I've known is degeneracy and being a degenerate, that's the only thing I have to teach. And that's what I'm going to do to the people that are around me. So parents, if you allow your child to be around me and I'm a degenerate, guess what? I'm going to teach them how to be a degenerate too. So when you have cats having their young men being twerked on by grown women, that just goes to show you that what he's doing is creating another him.
Damn.
That's what he's doing. He's creating another him. And then we're going to have a bunch of those on this earth trying to grab my child, grab my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand that we are creating we're creating our future right from our past in the present. It's
And
crazy.
not only that, so like, because you got to think about like how many different sex workers that he approached to do this until one says, okay, I'm willing to do that to an underage human being. Because I'm pretty sure not everyone is willing to do that to an underage
I
man.
think the first one.
I think the
first
first
one.
Yeah.
because again, he got bread. So he probably, remember, a degenerate lives in a degenerate world, right? He lives in that world. A degenerate ain't going to live in a world of people that are smart and people that have sense, because he's going to be out of place. He's going to be out of place. He's going to look for, that's what the human brain looks for. It looks to affirm how you feel. How you feel affects how you see. And that's what it looks for. So if you're a degenerate, you're looking for other people like you. You ever been to when you were younger, you ever went on vacation, there was nothing but white people? As soon as you saw that first black family, you were like, woo! And both of y'all met eyes and y'all just understood we hanging out later. You know what I'm saying? Because we the only ones here, right? It's just the human, the brain is an amazing thing. So you look for those that are like you. It just is what it is.
Whew. Oh man, so that Lamar, you think he asked her the very first sex worker and she said, yes, I'm willing to have relations with an underage man?
Man, she's already in the video. She's already in the video. Hey, I got this son over here, After the video we shoot, we can go over to my house and do something. I think it was easy for him.
That's crazy to me. I don't want to believe that, but I mean, y'all could be absolutely right. Shout out to the super mayor. Where's the content? Where is the content from the BWE? What's BWE? From the BWE women who have sons, where there are women in families who know about pedo uncles who never report him. Hashtag Supermammy.
Those are facts.
What's the BWE?
Okay.
Degeneracy is degeneracy, man. You have degeneracy on the male side of it, where they're teaching their boys and showing their girls how to go out there and get money. And you have degeneracy on the mother's side, the women's side, where they're teaching their daughters how to go out there and get him for this and do such and such or whatever. It's on both ends. So this is not a finger point at anybody. This is about accountability. And that's the only way we can get some type of solution to this, when we can say, listen, this is what has happened. Let's deal with it.
Right, because there's definitely a lot of pedo aunties out there, and they are not getting called out enough. It is, Lamar. It's a lot of pedo aunties out there. Either man is proof of it, that they are out there.
Someone said black woman empowerment is what BWE mean.
Oh.
I think the two thing too, as a young boy, you don't want it to stop because it's pleasurable.
But everything pleasurable is not good, because how does it, how does the brain develop? This is the thing that we need to start looking at it. How does the brain develop? You know what I mean? When you sit there and only, stimulate the portion of the brain that's dealing with pleasure. Now this is what they seek, and
So
now,
I got a question. So you think when you had your first experience, was it with somebody within your age group, or that person was older as well?
She was older, but we was still like
a 4-year age group type thing.
Yeah, I think I was like 9 and she was like 13. So it wasn't like
the same age group.
Yeah, like it wasn't like, yeah, I feel like we was close enough in age that our mindset was closer to each other than farther away.
Whew. So what made you do, I don't know if you can remember, but around that time, is it because you slipped up and seen some adult film movies? What got you interested in engaging with this 13-year-old in that manner?
So no, that's the crazy part. I know everybody try to say you find this film. That wasn't my story.
Okay.
You got to remember, I grew up in the age of freaking, right? I'm from Atlanta. You got to understand, when we walked down the street, we would see naked people. It wasn't a video, it was a reality. I also grew up in the age of Black Bike Week. Now, as a child, I used to go to Black Bike Week in Savannah, where you have naked people down the strip. So it wasn't, like I said, it was just, sex was a part of my reality. And you gotta understand, I had uncles that was pimps. That's the whole point that I'm trying to help you understand, is that it was my reality world, not a video.
Damn.
It was all of our reality. We just not bragging about it.
I'm not bragging. See, that's why I started not to come up, because people think it's like one of those things that I'm trying to beat my chest on it. That's not what this is. It's just,
Okay.
this is a realistic things that happen.
I apologize. No, I'm looking at Shaka Khan right now. I would hit that. I don't give.
Oh Lord Jesus! And something like this. This is a very good point. Is something that is not spoke about enough. Go ahead, P.S. Diva. The Superman with the tubo. We called out R. Kelly, but not his sister.
What did his sister do?
Everything he did.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that. Really?
They said she was right there with him.
Doing
But
all
you see, but see, he's the bigger attraction, so that's probably why the sister didn't get no traction. He's the biggest star.
No, I'm be quiet on it because I don't know for sure.
But it is definitely something about men being aggressive and violent, bigger and stronger. Why it's just an easier target than women being the damsels in distress. They are emotional and they are weak and this, that, and the third. So it is difficult for society clearly to see them as the aggressors or sex deviants.
Yeah, and I misspoke. Black Bike Week is in Myrtle Beach, not
yes,
Savannah.
it's in Myrtle Beach. Yes,
my bad.
Yeah, and it's a narrative, Sharon, that they're creating when they say that only, when they create that narrative of what you just said about the black, about men being the deviants and men being this and men being that and women not. You know what I'm saying? So it's harder to believe. So it's easier to spin the narrative on the man than it is to spin the narrative on the woman.
Absolutely. Even in music videos, movies and stuff, like even if they was to have a situation when they are talking about men getting taken advantage of, it's going to be men getting taken advantage of by other men. That's what they're going to show. They barely show, but I believe it was one movie when Jennifer Lopez, she was taking advantage of a little kid. She was like a teacher or something like that. I believe it was a couple of movies. However, on a mass, we do not look at women as any kind of threat to society whatsoever. And that shit has to change as well, because so many times that women are the ones that are the aggressors in this goddamn world. And we need to recognize those human beings as well.
But we ain't gonna let Lamar get off. He said he lives in this same world. Let's hear about your experience then. It sounds like
I had sisters and cousins that protect me.
So we didn't live in the same world.
Yes, I did. I don't need to talk with it. I'm gonna tell everybody what I did as a teenager. Come on, dude.
So what the Superman was talking about was that R. Kelly's sister was the one that started his whole deviancy. So the Superman with the fireboard, no, she was touching him and his brother, and it started his whole trauma in the first place.
So you see the point that I was making, right? So you see the point that I was making, how that experience that his sister did to him propelled him in this thought process to create this guy that we know today that was so diabolical. So this is what happens when you have a child that has no therapy, that has not been, secured around and does not have that environment around him to say, hold on, something ain't right. What's going on? So this is what you get when you continue to let this sickness permeate.
So why do you think so why are we not damn, societal norms is just crazy when you really think about it. That's really what it really boils down to. Right? It ain't no other way around it. It's the fact that people do not look at women as dangerous at all.
You know what it is, Sharon? When I clicked off you guys yesterday, and I'm listening to you and PhD and whoever else was on the stage, and I'm hearing these men, right, talk to you. And again, I'm going to talk to the men. I'm hearing these men talk to you. And it was like the pushback that they were giving you guys. Like when you were saying that, they were asking, well, how do we get them to change? I don't know if you remember them asking you that question. How do you get them to change? But what if they do this? And what if they do that? What if you do this? What if you dogs? My job is not to go through all that. My job is to put the information out on how to elevate yourself, how to get your mind there, and how to be right, and how to be this and how to be that. I'm going to let them go through all of that stuff. We're not here to save everybody. Those that want to elevate their mind and be a better version of themselves, they're going to put themselves in a situation or put themselves in a position to be better. And that's all I have to say. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to, how do we do it? Those that want to be better, they will be. They will be. How you feel affects how you see. And that's why I'm saying that, mental health is so important, because how you feel affects how you see. If I'm upset at everything, if my heart's been broken and I never got that heartbreak repaired, I'm going to hate women. A lot of these dudes that get on these stage, their hearts have been broken and they speak through that, and they've healed wrong. They didn't heal correctly, because bones can heal wrong if you don't get help. So can your mind. So they come up here as these self-help gurus, and they tell you to operate in your dysfunction opposed to getting out of your dysfunction and seeing things clearer, logistically, not emotionally.
That was a very good point. That was a very good. Good, Lamar. I see you got some thoughts.
No, I just wanted to eat a man that talking about teenagehood and childhood is not really bragging. I just, now, basically what I'm trying to say is we made mistakes when we was young. Those mistakes, we just got lucky. So we got to tell younger people to don't do those mistakes that we did. If we brag about those mistakes, then they're going to look up to us and say, oh, okay, you did it, so I need to do it too. We just got lucky, dude.
So you feel like I'm bragging about my mistakes?
Yes, we do. I do.
I don't think I made a mistake.
No. If you, like I said, you're gonna say, well, she got her 2 ties and all that stuff, but you really, at 14 or 15, you really don't have that knowledge. You would have had a baby.
How do you know what knowledge? See, that's the problem we get on YouTube. People who just met you tell you what knowledge you had at 14.
Oh, wow.
You have no idea.
No. Were you married to her? No. Were you married to her?
Was I married? What that have to do with me knowing her tooth was tied?
Okay, I'm gonna let it go, because it's too easy to win. I'm gonna let it go because you had to read her medical records to find it out, right?
Oh, so now we have to read someone's medical records to know that.
I'm gonna let it go. It's too easy to win, because I can't prove that a tooth is tied. You can't prove that a tooth is tied. What I'm saying is, because we make mistakes and we survive those mistakes, it's not cool to brag about those mistakes, because people gonna do the same mistakes and they're gonna get caught. Again, just because I told somebody unprotected that I didn't have a baby, that was a mistake. I'm happy that I didn't have a baby.
That's the problem. You're the problem. The reason I say you're the problem is that I have never heard you come and tell a woman who messed with an older man that she made the mistake.
It's not about the woman right now. It's not about the woman.
It's a reason I'm saying this, because what we'll do is if a woman, quote unquote, is in a place where she was a victim, right? You wouldn't tell her that she's the one who made the mistake.
Did you come off as a victim today? If I did, I apologize.
No, you missing what I'm saying. Let me double back to what I'm saying. Okay. If we was to change the gender, would you tell a woman that she made a mistake? because the older man was messing with her.
Number one, we're not talking about women, but however, let's play this game, okay? If a woman 20 years old, she said, I met this guy when I was 15 years old, don't tell that woman that you was took advantage of at 15 years
No,
old.
you missing what I'm saying. If a 14-year-old woman was messing with a 44-year-old man, would you tell the 14-year-old woman she made a mistake?
So,
Yes.
well, first off, a 14-year-old ain't a woman. But
Yes.
the thing is, he's saying that he's a victim, just like we would say that 14-year-old girl was a victim of that 44-year-old adult.
And I agree with that. I agree with that.
So then you can't say that he made a mistake because he was the victim.
I agree with that 100%. That's what I'm saying. If you was the victim, I apologize. I misconstrued. I thought you was bragging about it. But if you wasn't, I apologize.
But that proves that you didn't even see me as a victim. That's the problem that I'm trying to help you understand.
The problem is you can't accept apology. If I missed some information, I'm educated enough to say, you know what, I might have missed some information.
No, it's a bigger picture. I think you're not seeing the bigger picture.
You didn't, right. By virtue of him being 14, period, he was the victim. It don't matter if he come up here today and, you know, even if he didn't think he was victimized in that moment, simply by virtue of the fact that he was a 14-year-old and the adult was a 44-year-old. Any way you slice it, he was the victim. And so there was no information outside of that you should have needed to know that he was a victim, but for the fact that he was 14.
I totally agree with that. However, when you start talking about 14-year-old boys having intercourse with other people, that's where I got the information from.
But see, here's where the confusion comes in. Okay. You know, that PH Diva and Eda Man's trying to clear up. The confusion comes in is the application of empathy and sympathy. You're not applying it. So what he's saying is just, you know, even though the way he's speaking today, he's speaking like, yeah, you know, it was what it was, and that's how it happened, whatever. Just through the thought process of knowing that he was 14 years old, you're not applying him being the victim. You're not applying that. You're not giving him that empathy towards being the victim. And that's the problem that we have. That's why he said you're not looking at the whole bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's why I was saying we got to look, you know, Eda Man just happens to be the exception. We got to look at the rule. And the rule is a lot of men or a lot of women that come out of that type of experience don't come out like him. Correct. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them get caught up. So,
and they get that arrested development and never move past whatever. But at the same time, Eda Man said he didn't realize that something happened to him until last year. He didn't even think about it. He thought that was just a part of, hey, I
didn't think it was wrong because I felt that since I mutually wanted it, I didn't see it as wrong. And I remember I was having this conversation. I was having this conversation with an individual I respect, and he was saying that it's wrong, even though people don't understand it still can be wrong, even though that you was willing. Wrong it still can be wrong, even though you're willing.
I totally agree with you. Like I said, I do apologize. I misunderstood. That's about it.
And the reason that I really want to put this out there. First of all, I accept your apology because I think that's proper for me to accept your apology. But I do want to put this out there. I wanted to have a real conversation and not a hypothetical conversation. That's the only reason I entered the information into the conversation. I want anybody to know that I wasn't trying to boast. I wasn't trying to brag. I'm not even telling people that they should live that lifestyle. That is not the narrative. I just want to, like I said, have a real conversation. So anybody felt that I was boasting, bragging, or I was trying to encourage 14-year-old boys to do what I did, I please hope y'all understand my sentiment that that's not what I was doing up here today.
So now that's great. So what can young men do to prevent this from what do you think young men could do to prevent themselves from going through this situation that they most likely won't be able to have the same vision or the mental fortitude that you have?
I truthfully and honestly don't understand what the 14-year-old could do, because you got to understand at 14, that I was running a full business. I was cutting grass. Is it wrong for me outside cutting grass? Because that's why I met her. I'm walking around the neighborhood cutting people grass. I was on the football team when this happened. I was heavily involved with taking care of my grandfather. My grandfather was at a point where he was about to pass. Like, I was doing everything that I was supposed to do. So the question that like, what advice would I go back and give myself? I don't think it's nothing I could have did other than sit in the house and be an incel for me to prevent this stuff from happening. I don't think it's possible.
So you saying that you would not tell your younger self, hey, do not allow that Laurie's vagina on your fresh teen?
No, I'm not saying that I wouldn't tell me not to do it. That's not what I'm saying. But it's easy to say that we tell somebody not to do something, but they still have the right to do it or not. Because even me going back and telling myself what I knew for the future not to do it, I think my environment still would have impelled me to want to do it.
So this is why Lamar was confused. You still not sounding like you was any kind of victimhood at all. You're still talking like, hey, ain't nothing you can really do. If a 14-year-old boy is doing all the things that he need to do, what can you say to stop him from having sex with a 44-year-old woman, even though he's only 14? That's what it sounds like you're saying.
No, what I'm trying to help people understand is the only way to change this is to change the 14-year-old environment. We can't go back and tell because the thing is, we try to take our developed mind, because I feel like my mind is fully developed, right? And what you said, I'm at 50 now, so I hope it's developed. So listen, it's crazy for me to take a developed mind and be able to say, let me take a developed mind and try to explain to an undeveloped mind on how to move. It doesn't work that way. Because they can't receive what you're saying. I had people in my life say that I should not have sex. I couldn't process what that mean at that age because everybody around me was having sex.
Damn, that's crazy. Shout out to Young Samurai with the 1999. I remember growing up, I had other young kids and adults making fun of me being a virgin. They will always encourage me to lose my virginity because it would make a man out of me, like an achievement of being a man, like a rite of passage. Woo! This is go back to the thing where they make, oh, are you scared of vagina? Are you scared of pussy? You better go ahead and hit that, knock that pussy right out the park. And so what I was saying, Edie, man, because that woman, that 44-year-old woman, she was the goddamn predator. And what often happens is that the women predators, they get protected because the young men don't see it as well. The older men don't see it as some kind of predatory behavior. So the young man like you that was 14 and went and told their uncles or whoever, the older man like, well, I'm happy that you done knocked the dust off that, whatever the case is.
But see, the reason why he was able to be a predator, right? A predator. The reason why he was able to be the victim is because that predator seen that the environment that he was under didn't protect him from that action. That's what Eda Man is saying. And he's 100% correct. That, these young men and young women can't quantify what you're trying to explain to them because, again, you're 50, they're 14. You have to put them in an environment where they're afraid of that. Like if they see something that's wrong, if someone touches you, it's wrong. Soon as they see it, red flags go up. They come back. Eda Man's child tells Eda Man, the parent. He's saying that he was raised around it. So when that 44-year-old woman made a move on him, he ain't shy from it. This is what we do. I lived this, baby. What up? What's going on? So what he's saying is, and I think we need to shout this aloud, the environment that your child is in is important. Don't leave them watching music videos. What they consume, what you focus on is what you will be. So it's important to understand the environment, the culture, the what you facilitate your children to watch. Be involved. damn, be involved. So, and again, Eda Man speaks in such a cool monotone that he doesn't emphasize that. So let me do it for him. The environment, because what he's saying is very important. Him going back and telling his 14-year-old self, don't do it. He gonna look at his older self like, dude, man, get out of here. I'm raised around this. You ain't telling me. This is what I'm used to. This is second nature. This is breathing to me. So go ahead, Eda Man. I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, it's no more. And I do agree with it. I think when the question is, what can a 14-year-old do, is it's not up to the 14-year-old. It's the adults around them. Like I say, it's the environment. Like I said, I had sisters and mothers who would look out there for me. So even though I was in the same hood and the hood rat stuff, but I had people that would give me better advice, even the winos on the corner. So it's not up to the 14-year-old. It's the people around the 14-year-old to educate them, to make sure that educate them why they should not do it. So yes, like I said,
this
All right,
forces
so
you, this
that is
forces
perfect.
you as a
But
parent.
now, what are we gonna do as grown-ups to start keeping our eye out for this 44-year-old sex
There you
youth?
go.
How we are going to recognize? Eda Man, do you think you have any advice on how people could have recognized that she was this sexual deviant?
Yep, I think we need to make full-time parents great again. I think we need to open up our mindsets to maybe a stay-at-home parent is a good option. Someone who's with the child majority of the time. Someone who is picking these children up from school, and these kids are not latchkey kids. I think the one thing that it is parents need to get involved. That's the only way, because when parents involve, I think, I'm not saying that it can't happen. The likelihood of that happening is told. Like if you read any documentaries or look at like Predators, that's the first thing they're gonna see. How involved are your parents in your life before they choose you?
Here's a crazy thing. Sharon, you got a car? Now, if that car makes a certain noise that don't sound right to you, you know what your car should sound like, right? Mm-hmm. You're that in tuned. So now, if we are that in tune with our material things, how much more in tune should we be with our child? So when you know your child's thought process, you know their character, you know what they're used to, and something seems off, 9 times out of 10, something is off. So again, you can't just, I don't know everyone's financial situation, right? There are latchkey kids out there in one parent households where the parent can't be there. Be involved with your child as much as you can. Be involved. Know your child's mannerisms. Know your child's friends. Have your child's, know your child's friends. Know what they're about. Know the child's parents. Know the environment that you put your child in, so that if, create an environment where your child could talk to you. You know what I'm saying? That they can have conversations. So your child is not afraid to say, Uncle Sharon, guess what? This dude did such and such or whatever. And then you can handle it. Because he may be afraid to tell Daddy Bolo, but he's going to talk to Uncle Sharon, right? Because again, he know Daddy Bolo might come too hard with the hammer. So this is why we need to create that village also. Because they might be ashamed to tell their father, but they can tell their uncle, they can tell their cousin. We need to engulf these children and know these young men and young women. It's okay. It's all right. What's going on? I may not like it.
Right.
Understand I'm going to love you after.
And also, I think we got to stop forcing our children to like or be involved in grown people as well. And we have a young kid and we say, hey, even if it's your blood relative, because sometimes that always get blurred as well, right? Somebody that's been a part of your life, you want to call them, this is your uncle as well, even though that's just your good friend for 30 years. But I just say, even your blood relative, you bring your kid, hey, this is your uncle you never met. And your kid is like, let your kids be and say it is okay. You don't have to get a hug and a kiss just because this person's your uncle. If you're not comfortable with whatever vibe you getting as a little kid, we got to stop forcing our little kids to have a different vibe with this human being. Because to your kid is not looking at and understanding what uncle means to them. So they get a strange vibe and they hide it behind you or whatever the case is. Respect your kid's feelings and say, hey, my kid don't want no goddamn hug and kiss from you. And don't force your goddamn hug and kiss on my goddamn child. I don't give a fuck how long you been my goddamn uncle or whatever that is. My child is not comfortable with you yet. Don't force yourself onto my goddamn child. I don't give a fuck who you are. Aunties, all that shit.
I just want to add, I think that information is more important. So when the children have information, then they can make better decisions. Because I know having a parent always around them sounds good, but it's not realistic. Most of the people can't afford it. But we can afford to give our kids the information. We could teach them. We could put them in an environment where they could be more successful. Like I said, the zip code is the most important thing for your child to be successful.
We just can't be afraid to be involved, man. You know,
Yeah.
and again, like Eda Man said, your life, is gonna have to, pause a little bit because you're gonna have to be involved in the football game.
Hey, Bo, do you think she should get locked up? The girl that just groped this young man.
I didn't see the video. And it depends on the dude. It depends on the dude. You know what I'm saying? If he felt, because sometimes, people can create that environment of being promiscuous, right? So I don't know. I didn't see the video. So if this dude pushes that vibration out, then what your vibe will attract your tribe. So I don't know. If it's a situation where he comes out and says, yo, man, I wasn't feeling that. You know what I'm saying? Then yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because some people don't take touching as serious as others. Should it be done? No. But this is the world we're living in today, right? So I have to go with what the world we're living in today. So no, you shouldn't touch someone that don't want to be touched. Because again, like you said earlier so eloquently, if it was a man that did that, it regardless of whether the woman, he's showing the video.
I have to let you see the evidence for yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so it just happened. So it's gonna replay itself anyway. So we're gonna just let it replay. So like you see, he's laughing. You can see that's really more of a nervous laugh. He don't know how to react.
Right.
So and you see his little kids there. The little kids don't really understand what's going on either, luckily. But so he just standing there and look, she just.
But that's the key. See, what people don't understand, that those kids are growing up in an environment that is okay. See, people don't understand how effective when you doing things like this. It's like, well, it was okay for her to touch him. Why is it not okay for him to touch me?
She should be locked up. Yeah, absolutely. Because you see what you see on his face, because the body speaks, man. The body speaks. You can see that one, he was very uncomfortable with that happening, but because he got his peoples there, he can't be that punk or that weak dude, because it's gonna affect his brand. It's gonna affect his brand. Absolutely, she should be locked up. Absolutely.
So, Miss Not For Everyone, her hands went down his pants clearly. You can see how he moves, because it doesn't seem like he have jeans on. It seems like he just have like sweatpants, afterwear. Very easy to get in your pants, and she went for it with no hesitation whatsoever. And it wasn't and just like how Bolo said, it was not the environment for her to act like. It wasn't like it was a club. They was dancing, and like it was no.
You can see he's trying to ignore her, Sharon. Like he ain't even looking at her, bro. He ain't even paying her no mind.
That's enough. But he even look her in the face and say, "Hey," like he didn't know what to do. He just
yeah. She's aggressive. Yeah, it should have been done. But you got all of these. Look at the little girl right there in front. Oh my God, look at the little girls, man. Yeah, this is why, I came off the way I did yesterday. That when we have this opportunity, which we don't have that many, when you have this opportunity to have these kind of conversations about young men and the environment that these young men and young women are being raised in, it's very important to capitalize on it. So when you have cats that just talk and just spew out madness, it grinds my gears, because regardless of where you are, no matter what platform you're on, when you have this opportunity, that one person that needs to hear what needs to be heard, don't squander it. Give it.
Absolutely. And a lot of people do not know how to react when something like this happens. This is why a lot of times the victim does get blamed, because they didn't react appropriately, or whatever you deem as appropriate. It's because when it happened to you in real life for the very first time, especially when it's a environment of cameras, streaming, you famous, and it got all these factors that's going through his mind at the time when he's getting groped, and nobody prepares you for that goddamn moment in life.
Well, let me ask, because
pretty sure the second time it would happen, he would know exactly what to do.
Redemp said something, right? Redemp said, "Nah, don't lock her up for that." Come on, Redemp. If a man did that to your daughter, what would be your response? If a man, your daughter is a celebrity and she's kicking it with her homies, right, chilling, and some dude, and you can see that she's not even paying attention to the dude, and he threw his hands in her pants, would you want him to be locked up?
Hey, Lamar, is this your first time? Is this your first time seeing the video?
Yeah, it's pretty shocking to me.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because my children at 6 years old, I tell them, yes, swimsuit area is your private area. Nobody touch you there. Not your parents, not your uncles, not your family, nobody. This is your private area. So it's that's bad.
Absolutely. And that's the point. The point is we're so desensitized to it, right? And that's why, I have a problem with the way society is going. We're so desensitized to the way things are going that we'll sit there and be like, nah, come on, man. But when something happens to you, you want the world to burn. You want the world to stop. You know what I'm saying? If that same thing happens to you, nah, he just robbed the dude and just took his watch. Nah, as soon as that dude robbed you, you want the world to stop. I said, but nah, hold on, brother. When he did it over there, you ain't have a problem with it. But when he does it here, you have a problem with it. We got to have the same thought process across the board. Regardless.
I agree. Welcome to the show. I'm the etc. And I got O1S in the building. Can you please come out? Because I'm not sure of this name. I never seen you before. Oh, okay. Got you. Welcome to the show, fellas. How y'all doing? What's your thoughts?
What's going on?
I'm all right, man.
I'm pulling up on you because you pulled up on me on my show, Sharon, and I appreciate you for that, regardless of how big you get. You know what I'm saying? You've been blowing up in these streets lately. You know what I mean? And it's not a surprise that, you know what I'm saying, everybody.
What's going on? You got a show now. You got to have a better mic than that. Come
on. He was driving, so that's probably what happened.
What's up, Sharon and the panel?
How you doing? Good day to you. How we pronounce your damn name now?
Say it again.
How we gonna pronounce your name now?
Just exactly how you said.
O1S. And also, he hopped out the goddamn chat and he came to address Bolo direct. Welcome to the show.
I'm putting myself on mute then.
Yo, what up? Yeah, I wanted to add to the conversation about, everybody knows it's wrong, no matter how cool it may seem amongst the men. But you look at everything that's going on in society, that's a big part of it, because people just, turning the eye at something that's a bigger problem. And it might seem cool now, but later on down the line, it's going to be a bigger issue. People online, going back and forth every day about the dysfunction, but motherfuckers gonna make it seem like, oh, this supposed to be cool because it's happening too. a young man, but let it happen to one of their daughters, they wouldn't think it'd be cool though.
Perfect.
So,
And I
you
also
know,
want to welcome Root into the conversation. What's your thoughts?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing, Sharon? How y'all doing on the
I'm
panel?
doing
Now,
well.
look, yeah, I wanted to come up. 'Cause I didn't want to do all that typing in the chat, man, to address what Bolo was saying. Now, Bolo, now look, I've been writing in a chat for the longest about why it is a difference from when women make sexual advances to men compared to when men do it, and it's simply because we bigger, we stronger, right, and we have a more of a violent nature, and that right there alone makes it more predatory for when we do things to women compared to when they do things to us. Even in the video with Tyreek from Power, right? Even with him, if he really wanted to hurt that woman, that little young girl, he could have hurt her. Let's say when you ask me about if a man did that to my daughter, would my daughter be able to really hurt a man, a stronger man who grabbed her around her private area? I don't think she would be able to do the same thing that Tyreek could do to that young woman. So this is right there. I understand what you guys are saying on the panel.
I understand.
All right, go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
I understand your point, but here's the difference. Here's the difference between justice and legal, right?
Okay.
What you're speaking is legal, right? Because society has painted a picture where if a man do it because of his strength, his power, he's this, that it's much worse than when a woman does it. When we deal with justice, it's the cause and effect of righteousness, right? It's wrong. Period.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. So I understand your point. I don't want you to think that your point fell on deaf ears. I get what you're saying. The reason why, it's not an exact example because this woman can't protect herself if a man did it.
True.
But a man can. What we have to understand is, and not rob from our young men, that this man right here was very, very nervous in that situation. He has a lot to lose. He has a brand. He's supposed to be that dude. He's supposed to be this. So if he screams and says, "Nah, yo, mom, what you doing?" Right there. Let me just throw this out. When Usher got married, do you know his record sales flopped? Went down. Because a lot of the women that bought his records imagined him being single and them being with him. So we have to be very, very conscious of what we're seeing visually, right? So when do we say enough is enough? When do we say? So because of that thought process, another woman might do it. Another woman might do it. We have to stop it. Before it becomes a brush fire, stop it while it's a flame. And that's the only point that I'm trying to make.
And I want to say, like, what if it's one of y'all daughters that's doing it? How would you address your daughter?
I mean, can you guys hear me? My thing had jumped off real quick. You hear me?
Yeah, we get you.
Oh yeah, if it I'm low.
No, your mic it got a little fuzziness in it, but go ahead.
Okay, no, just hold on. Let me get it right. Let me come back.
All right, that is a very interesting question. Oh man, let's start with Lamar. If you found out that your daughter was doing this, or you seen the video, what do you think you would be able to express to your daughter about that?
I'd be very embarrassed because all the years I've been taught her. Plus, I teach violence. I don't know how you could touch somebody else without their will. It should not make no sense in her head that I could grab somebody against their will. So yeah, I would be very shocked and embarrassed, and we will have a conversation about it.
And I mean, you got to look at the thought process, like my man O1S said. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I think it was him. You got to look at the thought process. Like, yo, shorty, what are you thinking? If you're my daughter, what did I raise? That you could just walk up to a dude and you can see his vibration. He didn't pay you no mind at all. He paid you no mind. So you pushed yourself on first, paid you no mind. Then you took it further and put your hand down his pants on camera. So now everybody sees you. You know what I'm saying? But that's a conversation between a father and his daughter. Now we're talking about just looking at it societal, right? Looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is we should not stand for it either way. Now, would the punishments be different for a man than for a woman? I would say no. I would say no.
It's very dangerous. The problem is she would put her life in risk. You know, like he's a guy, she's a woman. It's very dangerous to assault people. So that's what is the most important thing.
Yeah, he said it
You know,
himself though. Like he would have lost his career behind doing something like that.
absolutely done. And then we get up here and we complain about things not being fair. Why are
Right.
things
Oh
why are
God.
things not fair? Because we allow it to happen. We allow it. You dig what I'm saying? So we have to look at the bigger picture. If you allow this to happen, we don't see the ripple effects. We don't see it. We're just looking at it now. We don't see what it. Look at R. Kelly. Look at what he turned into. We didn't see the ripple effects. How could we? So if we don't shut it down now, men get on you. How many panels do you guys see? Every man on this panel now, where men are complaining that women are not held accountable. Hell, Sharon had a big argument a few days ago about women not being held accountable at all. And here it is, we're presented with a chance to hold women accountable, and we don't.
And they gonna blame it on me too. They gonna blame it on me.
You don't blame him and say you didn't do it, Sharon. We gotta start again. And Brownsville says this all the time. We gotta start looking in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta start with us.
Day.
We gotta start looking at ourselves. Man, it's easy to blame everyone else and not look in the mirror, because when you realize you're the problem, you then have to become a solution. Tommy says that all the time. So we have to understand that it starts with you. So I understand the point that it's a woman. I get it. So what does that mean? Can a woman not steal a car like a dude could steal a car? So what? So because a dude stole a car and punched a dude in the mouth, he should get 30 years. And the chick, she just used a gun, she should get 10? No. At the end of the day, this is not about gender at this point. At this point is you touch someone that didn't want to be touched. That's what this is about. Right. That's why I tell you, it's a legalistic society we live in, right? Being legal don't deal with justice. There's no justice here at all, because you have to have righteousness to have justice. Justice would have been, police are called, it happened on video.
Right.
Because you notice when something,
and I believe this is a New York thing, so the state can pick it up themselves.
The state can pick it up. Police should have came and said, yo, listen, we don't even need him to say whether he
what happened.
We looked at his face and we know that it was something that he didn't want to happen. Now, whether she does jail time or not, what it will say is we're not standing for it. That's what it says.
And also, he did put out a statement. He said, at this point, everyone has seen the video circulating online, even the people in my chat today. We've seen it just now. I'm still in shock and don't fully know how to process what happened last night.
If a woman said that, the police would be at a dude's door that same minute. If a woman posted that. That's fact, bro. We can't go around that. It's not like, I understand the argument when you say, well, the woman did this and a man did that, right? Husband and wife. And we try to give the same accountability to the wife that we do to husband in a marriage. I understand that as a husband. I understand as me being the head of household, the bulk of the accountability and responsibility falls on me. That doesn't take it away that she has to be held accountable and responsible too.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with being a husband or a wife. This is about a woman, and I didn't even know he put out a press conference, a junket. This is about a man saying, I don't even know how to process this yet, man. I don't know. So this isn't about woman or female. It's about a person that imposed their selves on another person and touched them in their most private part. She shouldn't even be arrested.
Yeah.
Then I don't want to hear you dudes. I don't want to hear you dudes say anything no more about women being held accountable like men. I don't want to hear the arguments no more at all. So Sharon, please mark this minute from the hour in the minute. If these dudes are not saying hold her accountable like a dude would after hearing what you just said, because remember I was saying I don't know how he took it. He just said I don't know how to process it. If it was a chick that said that, police would be at the door. Everyone would be putting out their video. He was wrong. But because we're not taking that same vitriol or that same vigor, that's wrong. In off.
Right. It's more too. He said more. He said also to continue. He says, "What was I? Shaka fully don't know how to process what happened last night. This is an unfortunate situation that I do not condone in any way. I can't take it lightly because I know I would be in serious trouble if the roles were reversed."
So boom.
The fact is, sexual assault is never okay, regardless of gender or status. We are all human, and we should respect each other. Most importantly, we should always respect ourselves.
Police should be at her door right now. Police should be at her door right now. He just said respectfully, nah, I didn't want it. I didn't want her to touch me. Sexual, what did he say? Sexual what?
He said assault.
Sexual assault. God damn, we needed him to say it. We couldn't look at the video and say that was sexual assault.
Yeah,
this
man.
This is the
she
problem.
was bold too. She was
This
bold.
is the problem that we have when we're here, and this is why I say it's so important to capitalize on the opportunity that we have, because it may not come along again, right? We talk about holding women to equal. Hell, they call you the panderer, my G. They call me a simp. I don't know why, but they do.
Just be throwing anything around so loosely. You can't even take what none of these niggas be saying seriously.
The point of the matter,
they don't stand for shit. They fall for anything.
The point of the matter is, here it is. You're saying we need to start holding women accountable for what they do because women get away with everything. And now we're here in a situation where we just watched the video. I didn't even know he had released a press release. I didn't even know that. From the video, I'm like, nah, yeah, dog, she need to be at least locked up or at least be arrested. Then he releases that and says sexual assault. And cats are still saying she shouldn't be arrested. Don't talk to me ever again about holding women accountable, because this is a precise situation. You guys want to hold women accountable when it comes to marriage, when it's not equality in that. There's no equality in that, right? God created us equal when it comes to creation, but when it comes to purpose, we're not equal. But here it is. She sexually assaulted a man. She essayed a man. Where we're now equal. This is equal ground at this point. If you did it, he's gone. Regardless, especially if he released that damn statement. When she does it, nobody wants to say anything. Dogs, don't talk to me about equality no more. You know, for now on, Sharon, if I'm on your channel and they start talking about equality, you should see me drop. That's why. For real.
Facts, Lolo.
Another thing, I just want to say this. Like, she's so bold. She did it in front of the little girls, in front of her brother. That's his company. She was even just disrespectful with it as well. Like, she don't even care. Like, you ain't do this in your own spare time. You did this right there in front of your brother. This is his company, and you got kids right there. Like, it's too much.
So
like, she didn't care.
Redemp said, Bolo, that young girl, that young lady should have not to be arrested for that. She did rob him of attempt to physically hurt Tariq. So if a man did that, should he be arrested? Let me ask you that. If a man did that to a woman, and here's the boldness that 01S is talking about. Forget doing it in front of the kids. She did it on camera.
Yeah, she didn't care. She didn't care.
She didn't care. Who gives a rat's ass about the kids? She did it on camera for the world to see. She wanted to be that chick that everyone said she touched Tariq. If a dude did that, should he be arrested? Just a yes or a no will suffice.
But maybe she's just a Donald Trump supporter, because, you know, he did say he.
Oh, no. It's not even safe.
Yeah. What happens is we try to want to hold women accountable in situations that they can't be held accountable equally as men. When we're talking about marriage, because a lot of the conversations start off that way, you can't hold them equally because they're not equal. They're just not, right? If I'm the king, that means if something falls apart, the king gets the blame. Now, understand, after the king finished getting the blame, he gonna go through the subjects and everyone else, but the king gets the blame. This is a situation where it's outside of marriage. This is the law. The law is supposed to be blind, right? So the people are supposed to hold each other accountable. This is why you go to a judge, you get a jury of your peers. This is the peers. So here's the time when all of you guys talk about holding women accountable in marriage when you're wrong. Here's the time to hold women accountable. This has nothing to do with marriage. Has nothing to do with, washing clothes, who's going to pay the bills, how much you pay, how much you make. This is breaking the law. He said he was sexually assaulted. That's what he said. Sexual assault, no matter what the gender is. He had to say that to protect himself as a man. Because if he would have said, I was sexually assaulted, you know what cats are going to be saying? This weak dude. And it might affect his career as a man, right? Because he's supposed to be a young throb for the young ladies. They're going to call him weak. They're going to call him a punk. They might even say he's gay for that. And now we're talking about she should not be arrested. If a dude did that.
Right. And then I think the problem is that they think that we are trying to compare a man to woman. No, we're not. We're saying that in the law, it shouldn't be a comparison. The law is broken. Simple as that. We are not comparing men to women. We are comparing law. That's it.
Right.
Law was broken, and that person needs to be held accountable to law. That is it. I want to thank everybody for being here. Let's go with final thoughts. We start with Lamar, and we go around. Go ahead.
I came up because a lot of people are lying about Japan. Japan is a great place to live, and they very everything is good over here. But I just want to say, if you love women, you would teach women not to do that. That's dangerous. Period. So if you want women's safety, tell them don't touch people that don't want to be touched.
Right.
And I'm gonna leave it as that. Thank you, Mr. Bolo, and everybody else.
Yeah, that was awesome. Okay. Also, Scorch Off 824 with the 2x 50 Cent gave cover. He said no charges. Shaking my head. Go ahead, Happy. What's your thoughts? Happy is not there. Go ahead, Omni. What's your thoughts? Because I know you out and about.
Yeah, my bad. I got a call earlier to cut me off. But like I said, Bolo's been absolutely spitting. You know what I'm saying? Again, I want to give you the shout out for pulling up on me, Sharon, on my podcast, even though you're a bigger show. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about the law, we talk about morals and whatnot. I've always shared my experience, how I was dealing with a 31-year-old at the age of 18. She had far more experience than me. She did things with and to me that were indescribable at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I think another point that y'all raised is that the environment provides the context to how we perceive things. So when either man was sharing his experience and talking about how he could not, he doesn't think that his 14-year-old self would be able to listen to his adult self. That was hitting because, the people around you foster your mentality to a certain extent. So if everybody around you is behaving a certain way and it's accepted a certain way, one outlying person telling you not to do something is probably not going to move the needle in your brain. So I think we need to take strong stances in cases like this and circumstances like this as a community and make it known that this is not acceptable behavior under any circumstance, whether the gender is male, female, what have you, whoever the victim is, it doesn't matter. And if we're growing up seeing those strong stances and those strong people supporting those strong stances, I think children will move in the directions that we would like to see them move in a place of safety and security. And that's what I got, man.
That was excellent.
Appreciate the balanced show. Appreciate the balanced content. They're still gonna come at your head sideways because you got 150 people in chat instead of 400 people. So they're gonna think that this show was another one of those shows that they don't care for. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But I'm want to let you know that I see it, I recognize it, and I appreciate you for doing it, man.
I appreciate that. O1S, what it do? And no, I'm not tired of you, Tato. I can never be tired of you.
I just want to say, like, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything.
Here we
We
go.
see that every day with people. You know, they look on life and what goes on a day-to-day basis. So that's all I got to say. Like, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything.
Great point. Bolo, you wanna
Yeah. Thank you, brother. We gotta. This just gives us a look into the mirror of how much work we gotta do. Brothers, talking to the men. How much work we gotta do when it comes to checking each other, when it comes to creating an environment where we can have conversations and not be ridiculed on it. And then to the sisters, you know, we got to create an environment where we can have these conversations with each other, right? And not, you know, throw rocks at each other. And we got to create this environment of love so that even though I tell the truth, you know, truth without love is a weapon. We have to understand that. You know, we have to understand that when I'm talking to you guys as brothers, I consider you guys brothers. So if you tell me my breath stink, I'm not getting caught up on my ego or anything like that. I'm looking at it to the point where, okay, I'm glad my brother told me not to know shorty. You know what I'm saying? A shorty that didn't know me. They let me get out my face. You stink. You know? So we have to create an environment. If we're going to talk about holding people accountable, that has to be every day. Can't be on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. It has to be every day. And then we have to have situational awareness to know when to say, that's a husband and wife. These rules are not applicable here. But when we're talking about, like Sharon said, we're talking about the law. Law is blind.
Yes.
Care if you're a man or a woman. If you do something, you did it, stand on it. Now, do I think she should do 10 years, 50 years? No, I don't think she should do that.
Yeah.
But action should be taken because the man said sexual assault, no matter what gender it is a serious offense. So he's telling you without telling you he was sexually assaulted. He couldn't process it. If it was a woman that said that, we would be up in arms because it's a man. Oh, yeah. No, can't be that way. You can't sit there and say you want it one way, and when it's time for you to act on it, you don't. And then I'm going to, end it in this. Is it okay if I say a prayer, brother? Father God, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to come together and have a conversation where there wasn't no ridicule. There wasn't egotistical conversation. This was about men and women having a conversation to push forward you, to push your light, to push forth truth, understanding, but most of all with wisdom. We thank you for all that you do, and we understand that we are nothing outside of you, but everything in you. We thank you for allowing us to come together today. We thank you for putting air in our lungs and allowing us to feel your wisdom, feel your power, and feel you. Thank you. We ask you, Lord, for all those that are traveling, please give them travel mercy. For all those that are sick, please give them the strength to persevere. And all those that have lost, please encamp your angels around them in this time of loss. Please comfort them. In Jesus' name we pray. May the whole church say amen.
Amen.